Reality for the San Antonio Spurs last night, losing to the Pistons in Detroit 122-96, snapping the Spurs' three-game win streak. Fellas are in Cleveland tomorrow night for a matchup with the Cavaliers. Former Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs is headed to the New England Patriots, reportedly signing a 3-year, $69 million deal. And J.J. Watt's going to be an analyst for CBS.
SportsCenter brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On a getaway day, that's also Hump Day.
Hump Day? Yeah.
You seem surprised by that.
Well, I didn't know where you were going with that, but it is Hump Day. And it doesn't feel like Hump Day because it's almost like we're going on vacation day.
No, it's work, man. It's a getaway.
Well, of course it's
we
work.
got a weekend series in Vegas. Catch a late flight tonight.
Looking forward to that.
Early morning tomorrow.
Okay. Early morning? What, we're going to bed early morning or we got to get up early morning?
What is it about Las Vegas? Like, by the time we get to the resort tonight, Circa Las Vegas, it's going to be 10:30 Vegas time, 12:30 here. And, this isn't our first rodeo. No matter what, you're going to get that second win, and it's going to be 4 a.m. before we go to bed. But we do have an early morning tomorrow with all the stuff happening at Circa Las Vegas with the ceremonial first pitch in the sports book and a deal that we're doing with Greg Maddux, getting ready for the show, which starts at noon.
Vegas time, still 2 o'clock here.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, I know, but some people may not know that. Wait a minute, the Blitz starts at noon?
Yeah.
What? Whoa.
Uh-huh. No, I think you always remind yourself of that just to keep yourself straight.
Well, that's very true, because I'd show up at 2 o'clock and the show would be halfway over.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that'd be a hell of a 2 hours.
It would be. It would be. You'd give them hell, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, if I'm on a heater, buddy, yeah, it may happen. I'm not leaving the jack table. Sorry.
You can't use PTO on a work trip.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be awesome, though?
Not feeling so good, Jason.
I'm hugging the porcelain, man. It was something I ate. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
This is going to be a fun trip. A lot of exciting things going on at Circa this weekend. And, I'm looking forward to it. And I appreciate the folks at Circa having the trust in us that they do and to, have us go to their resort and do our show.
Well, that's it. And it's a lot of fun. And what's nuts is I know tomorrow we'll be live out at Stadium Swim. On Friday, I have no idea. I got an email from them today. Say, yeah, you're at the Stadium Swim tomorrow. Friday, everything is sold out there. I don't know. We'll find a place for you. Yeah, you'll be in the middle of the action. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And so I emailed them back, and I was like, when you think about everything at Stadium Swim, they've got that DJ booth area, which is, if you're looking at all the TVs, they've got the DJ booth there. The DJ might have the best view of the whole place. They don't see the TVs, but if you know what I mean.
That's right.
Although that might be a bad spot for us to do the show because squirrel. That might be difficult. That might be a hard assignment, if you will.
Well, then all you'll hear is boom, boom.
Well, we would.
Boom, 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 boom. That's what you hear waking up in the morning at Circa. Like, boom, 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 boom.
And that's just the guy's CPAP machine in the room next to you.
Oh my goodness! No, it's going to be a fun time. Be sure you tune in if you're not headed up there because you never know what twists and turns might happen.
That's it. The YouTube page tomorrow. You might want to be on that. We brought an extra camera just for pool view, pool cam.
Oh, pool. Yes, we are. Well, see, never mind. It was some dude on YouTube.
What?
Yeah, I know who that guy is.
Who?
Joe's Toes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to be on YouTube at 12 there, Joe's Toes.
Yeah, tune in then. Sorry, man, I got very confused.
I mean, you're obsessed with this Joe's Toes.
I'm not. I just looked at that, but as soon as I didn't look at the name, I read what he said, and so I was going to correct him, and then I realized who it is. So
who is that?
Well, I don't know who. I know not personally, but I know I have a pretty good idea.
It's just one of them guys.
Yeah,
them guys.
Now
Sam chimes in on YouTube. Who already ordered their Chesapeake Oyster Catchers merchandise? Can't seem to find anything wrong with it. Now, there are logo designs, and then there are logo designs. Now, in Major League Baseball, they had problems with the Oakland A's hat where it said ass, and, the Texas Rangers hat that they made this year that they can't sell. If you haven't seen it, just Google the Chesapeake Oyster Catchers and check out that logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it.
The placement of the baseball.
Well, and the oyster.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of things that you could use your imagination for.
There's really not much to the imagination when it comes to that, But I'm not surprised that Sam can't find anything wrong with that, because I'm sure that there's a lot of things he can't seem to find when it comes to that particular logo.
I don't know what to say. It's like, I don't know what to say. Without getting in trouble.
Well, that's it.
And I don't want to get in trouble today.
No.
Today's a bad day to get in trouble.
Well, I mean, we're getting on a plane later. By the time we get back, the boss will have forgotten about whatever he wanted to talk to you about.
Although I promise you, we'll walk the line today. Be all right.
Yeah?
Yeah. Gotta walk that line. I'm got some great news from some dude out of Cleveland.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
Dude.
I got excited for about a split second, and then
only you would get excited about this. And honestly, part of me thinks we should not even talk about this, because this is so far-fetched. Mathematically, this couldn't work. Pipe dream. And this from a guy, I'm trying to figure out if he's reputable or not. And apparently this dude has done radio in Cleveland since the 80s. A friend of mine that lives here sent this to me almost immediately when he saw it. Before you saw anybody else in Dallas and whatever, like, we were trying to find it, like, who is this guy? And he's been around a long time. And maybe he's just at the end of his career where he does a show every Wednesday on some sort of video platform and doesn't really give a damn about his reputation anymore, because this is... it's out there, but he says he's got sources.
Sources.
Which means more than one. Sources.
Well, you got to, the dude's been out there since the 80s. I'm sure he has some sources.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Cleveland Browns would love to have Dak Prescott. Not sure why, but I'm sure they would like to.
There we go.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
a lot to say about this.
Yeah. We'll get into all the details coming up and play you what this dude said earlier today. I put no stock into this whatsoever, but
when you have facts to back your opinion up. So
I mean, from financial,
yes,
yeah,
there are facts that are getting in the way of a wonderful day.
'Tis the season of spaghetti getting thrown on the wall. We'll get into that coming up here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
San Antonio, are you ready? The 2025 NCAA Men's Final Four is coming to the Alamo City. The NCAA Men's Final Four Fan Fest, presented by Capital One, brings fun for all ages. Fan Fest is a sports wonderland of interactive games with celebrity and athlete appearances, giveaways, and much more. Come ready to play April 4th through the 7th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. The event is free for kids 12 and under, Capital One card holders, military personnel, and 2025 Final Four ticket holders. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The moment you find out you're pregnant can be very exciting. Knowing what to do and how to get started can also be overwhelming. Healthy Start is here to help you know what to expect. You should see your doctor in the first trimester to reduce the risk of a premature birth and for a healthy pregnancy. Healthy Start is a free program that offers support and resources while you're pregnant and for your baby's first 2 years of life. For more information, call us at 210-207-4725. Get the help you need to give your baby a healthy start.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on a Wednesday on the radio. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel on one of the many apps. You can always be a part of the show as well on Twitter, at Joe Reinagel210. Tweet at me, at Jason Minix. And hell, in this segment, might even take some calls at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's got an opinion on this, but again, I got very excited when I first saw this. I was like, all right. And then it's like, well, geez.
Now, here's the thing. I have no idea who Bruce Drennan is. This was sent to me by a friend of mine that is all about Cleveland sports. He lives here. And I said, well, who is this guy? And he said, been in Cleveland radio since the 80s. But apparently, just doing a little research, at this point in his career, he does one show a week on Wednesday. I saw Sean Sharif from 105.3 The Fan in Dallas tweet out something like, ask my friends in Cleveland about this guy, and he's not a troll out for clicks. Take it for what you want, but this is what Bruce Drennan said earlier today on Big Play Sports Network.
Get ready for this one. I got a pretty darn good source within the Browns organization. Couple. I heard since our last show that part of the reason Myles Garrett was so willing to sign this extension for contract, money. The Browns are negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys for a trade for Dak Prescott. And Garrett got all giddy about it. Why, I don't know. We're not going anywhere with Prescott, even if they pull it off. Newsom's part of it, and draft picks. Now, Prescott has a hamstring injury as we speak, and he may not be ready for the start of training camp. But this comes from a couple of different sources. And take it for what it's worth. If it does come about, remember where you heard it first.
We will, buddy.
Yeah, if it does, although one of the responses to the tweet says, dude, you haven't broken a story since 1965. Now, that said, got over 1 million views. When you hear it, Joe got all giddy. And then you start thinking about it logically. One, Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause. Two, make the math work, and you can't. I don't care how many math degrees and capology certificates you have. Look at the contracts for Dak, the dead money that Dallas would have to keep. In Cleveland, they still got to pay that Watson guy. And there's no way that Deshaun would be coming back. It makes no sense, but here we are.
Well, I'm not sure, what kind of source. I mean, it could be like, we're sitting around the office the other day, and wouldn't it be nice to have Dak Prescott as our quarterback? I mean, is that the source he's talking about? Where it's just kind of wishful thinking, throw a spitballing stuff, and it has to be.
Again, you've done this a long time. I've done this a long time. The only thing we have, our most important asset, is our name and our reputation. And if this guy is not a troll just out for clicks, if this guy was a serious guy in the media scene, or is, but, since the 80s, his source can't be his buddy, right? If you're, no offense to podcasters, but if you're just doing a random podcast, you just tweet stuff, hey, we were talking about this at the barbershop, and we've seen those people break stories. Hell, it was a lady at the liquor store that broke the Patrick Mahomes contract story because they were in there buying a bunch of champagne. It can happen, but this guy's reputation tells me it wasn't us just shooting the breeze in the office, and I'm going to go with this. These are people that are either close to the organization, in the organization, something along those lines. Now, could those guys? Yeah, man, we're uncovering every stone, and one of those is exploring what would it take to get Dak Prescott.
Look, there are a lot of other teams that would make a lot more sense than the Cleveland Browns, just because of the financial situation that they're in. They do need a quarterback. I'm not sure that Dak is that guy. And look, if the Cowboys were going to get rid of Dak Prescott or had any intent, they would have done that before they give him this massive overpaid contract that they gave him. It was just ridiculous, and now you're stuck with him. I mean, you're basically stuck with him. If this guy would have just done some research, Jason, like we did in about 5 minutes, and all the Dallas people did in about 5 minutes, you'd realize that there's no way on planet Earth this happens. It just doesn't happen.
Well, Nick Harris with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram was the first to tweet out numbers that I saw. If Dallas were to trade Dak Prescott, just, all right, you're gone, they would still take on a 9-figure dead cap hit in 2025, $98 million in 2026, and $61 million in 2027. Now, all those numbers there are part of the reason why I've been saying for months, after Dak got his deal with Cleveland, you can't look at getting rid of Dak Prescott for at least 3 years. And that's why. And those numbers are the same numbers that came out when he signed the deal. So part of the reason why I say now's not the time to look for his replacement at quarterback. You need to draft that guy in 2 years. But you can't even think about getting rid of Dak, either cutting him or trading him for 3 years.
How depressing is that? Holy cow.
Wow.
Jeez, what a depressing stat line. 3 years the Cowboys are going to just muddle.
You think I'm an idiot?
Yes. Yes, I do. There are a couple of things, Jerry. That one is one where I would say that word. The other one was the Trey Lance deal. There's another one where that would be appropriate.
Now we look at all that. Now, we know how you feel about Dak. I know we're stuck with the guy. What can they do to get the best out of Dak? Because he has shown he can be that guy, at least in the regular season. The other part of this Cleveland report that just makes no sense, because it makes 0 sense that Watson would be a part of the deal, right? So that would mean the Browns would have over $430 million dedicated to just the quarterback room over the next 4 seasons. Again, math on all of this, Bruce Drennan, makes absolutely no sense. And if Myles Garrett signed with the Browns because he thought he might get Dak Prescott, you're insulting the intelligence of Myles Garrett. There's no way. Now, if the Browns would have said, we're going to do everything we can to find a real quarterback, all right, that's one thing. But to say it was because they were negotiating with a trade for Dak Prescott, there's no way in hell. None.
They got Kenny Pickett. He's there. Maybe Garrett's excited about that. I do.
You think I'm an idiot?
Dude, Cleveland, you're stuck with what you got. The Deshaun Watson contract was horrible, and you can't get out of it. That dude's not even going to play this year.
Well,
to add insult to injury.
And quite frankly, I don't know, somebody wrote in our comments, is he even allowed in Texas? I mean, technically, I think you can, but no, there's just no way that I see this even a conversation. Now, did Cleveland pick up the phone and say, hey, what about that? Maybe they did. Maybe they did. And knowing Stephen Jones as well as we do, when he stopped laughing, they asked about the kids in the family, right? There's just no way. Even if Stephen were doing his due diligence as he should, well, what's your offer? Mathematically, with the dead cap money, it makes 0 sense. Although, if you want to go down the road of saying, well, if you're getting Cleveland's pick, Shedeur Sanders is coming here, and but even no, not happening.
It's just
not happening.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, that other guy, number 11, that makes sense, especially if the rumors we see with what the Patriots want to give away to get this guy. Then you might start talking about it. And he is a guy that you can legit get rid of without just blowing up the salary cap. Dude, I would do this. I mean, I was talking about it the other day, thinking, tell me where to sign. talking about their first-round pick this year, their second-round pick this year, a first round in 26, and a first round in 2027. Not to mention the fact they would have to eat and sign Micah Parsons to the contract. You'd get draft capital, and you'd get out of that $200 million contract that Jerry's about to sign Micah Parsons to.
And that's if Jerry wants out of it. You know, you look at Trey Hendrickson, he hasn't found anybody willing to sign him to the contract he wants and give Cincinnati what they want in return, so they're going to figure something out. I still think it does happen. Now, Jane Slater, who had one hell of a vacation down in Mexico, it looks like.
Did.
She tweeted, back from vacation, blah, blah, blah. As things stand with Micah, no new news. What I can tell you is Jerry and Micah have talked many times this offseason, but to say a contract offer has been extended to his representatives would be inaccurate. I'm told there was an initial meeting at the Combine with his team, but since then, nothing meaningful to report. His team remains ready to talk when Dallas does. Now, I read this, and you think about everything that we've heard when it comes to Micah Parsons and his contract, offers exchanged. Who knows? Jane is saying not really. But last line, his team remains ready to talk when Dallas does. Tells me Dallas isn't ready to talk. Could that also mean Dallas is seriously looking at these reported trade offers if those are accurate?
Well, sure. And I mean, are they accurate or not? Only time will tell. But if Dallas is not looking at that, they're not doing their job.
Sure.
I mean, in all honesty, if New England, and this is the team we're talking about, comes to them and say, hey, Jerry, Stephen, look, we're willing to give you this, and this, and we'll take Micah off your hands. We'll sign him to the contract that he wants. What do you think? And you either hang up the phone or you say, well, that's intriguing. Let's continue to talk. But, I mean, if they're not looking at stuff like that, they're foolish. Just simply because of the situation they're in. We already talked about Dak Prescott. You're stuck with him for 3 years. A big hit on the salary cap. You got CeeDee Lamb under contract. And we've got all these other guys that are about to have to get paid, right? I mean, a lot of them. So the Cowboys aren't going to get out of that contract nightmare that they're in, salary cap nightmare that they're in for a long time. This would go a long way into improving that team quicker and to getting them a little more financial flexibility.
The reality is, and sure, they would have some financial flexibility, nice word for it, but Philadelphia has shown you can have a lot of high-priced guys. Cincinnati is about to be in that boat. Philadelphia has shown you can be successful with a bunch of high-priced guys. Cincinnati, they've yet to show that. So there are ways that the Cowboys can pay these guys, figure that out, and not lose people and be handcuffed with a couple of contracts. I mean, it's an excuse that Jerry has used and has brainwashed us all that you can't really have all this and still be when you look at other teams that can. So it's up to the front office. Now, Jerry waiting now, I'll go back to what we've always said. That money's making interest in his account right now. There's no urgency for Jerry to get a deal done right now. If, there's nothing right now on March 26th that is going to change between now and the draft as far as getting it done. Now you look at those first mini camps, Jerry wants them there. Maybe there is some urgency to get it done around there, but that's a month and a half of interest drawing in Jerry's account versus Micah's. Or that escrow account where the money's going to go.
Sure.
So right now there's no urgency. But it does seem like, based on the tweet from Jane Slater, Micah's reps are ready when the Cowboys are. There's just no reason for the Cowboys to do it right now unless there's, hey, let's get it done, and we're going to have that first payment in your account on this day in May. They could do that.
Well, they could do that. And I guess I would buy that argument, although that argument doesn't sit with Cincinnati. They're paying their people. You talked about Philadelphia. They're paying their people. They don't have that money sitting in their account earning interest. Well,
I mean, you say that. Trey Hendricks isn't signed.
Well, no, he's not. But they made the priority to get their offense taken care of. And from reports, they are negotiating with Trey Hendricks.
Yep.
So they've still had to put that money in escrow accounts for T. Higgins and for Jamar Chase. So but I guess that makes some kind of sense. But, I mean, look, do you want Micah back or not? I mean, is he a part of your team or not? Is he the defensive leader of that team or is he not? And if he is, if the answer is yes to all of that, then you pay the guy and get it over with. You don't sit there and drag this thing out. It just makes absolute no sense. None whatsoever.
Except for it's the Cowboy way.
Well,
and again,
which makes no sense.
I agree with you. It makes no sense when you look at the way other front offices do business. But we know what the Cowboys' MO is. We've seen their playbook. We know what their tells are. What they're doing right now is par for the course. This is how the Dallas Cowboys do business. We don't have to like it, but Cincinnati's got Trey Hendricks they've got to figure out. They got the receivers done. And maybe that was because of free agency. They wanted to say, are we going to get these done or not? Because otherwise we've got to go shopping and replace one of the two. If they say weren't going to keep T. Higgins, they would then have some money to go. So there might have been some urgency there. But for Micah, it felt like at the beginning of free agency and a week ago, there was some momentum according to reports. That's gone. But right now there's no urgency. There's no deadline. And we know Jerry loves getting deals done on deadlines.
I guess that makes sense to Jerry.
It
absolutely makes no sense. And if I'm Micah Parsons, I'm like, and again, what does it say to Dak Prescott? What does it say to CeeDee Lamb? I mean, yeah, they got their money finally, but we had to, you got to drag through the mud first. And now you're going to play this game with Micah Parsons too?
Yep.
It just doesn't make any sense. And if he is the guy – or he's going to be the guy you want him to be, the leader of that defense that everybody says, and you're sitting here just dragging him along. And if Jane is correct, and I truly believe that she is, she's a very good reporter and got some great sources, that Micah's team is just waiting to negotiate, and it's Jerry dragging his feet, to me, that's insulting.
It is.
To me, as the so-called leader of your defense.
And it's, if Jerry can do it to Dak and CD, why would you be surprised that he's doing it to Micah?
I'm not surprised.
It's insult, whatever, however you want to say it. You can insult me all you want, because at the end of the day, I'm going to open up my bank account and I'm going to see a whole lot of money there.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I'm going to be playing for New England. One of the two.
Well, I mean, somewhere. But again, even the New England thing, New England isn't doing that without a contract worked out with Micah.
Well, sure.
And what if Micah doesn't want to sign that one? You see what I mean? I mean, while Micah doesn't have a no trade clause, Micah can control this one at the very least, because if he doesn't want to go play for the Patriots, or they're having trouble negotiating a deal, then that trade, I mean, the Patriots aren't going to give up all those assets without a guarantee from Micah Parsons.
Well, of course not. And that would be all part of the deal, and you'd work that out before you made the trade, obviously. But, I mean, if they're going to pay him the top of the market, the money shouldn't be an issue. It's whether he wants to play in New England or Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the only issue. The money's going to be the same either way. Just saying, I think Dallas needs to take a look at that. They need to take a long look at it if those reports are true.
If. And then again, you look at, like, Dak has a full no trade clause in his contract.
What a win for Jerry, huh?
Well, and you wonder, are there things like that in Micah's negotiations when and if they get serious?
I'm sure there
is
will
Micah
be.
going to want a full no trade clause, and then what is Jerry going to want in return for giving that to him?
Nothing. What did he get in return for giving it to Dak? Nothing. He's not going to get anything. I'm sure Micah's going to want that. Why wouldn't you not want that?
Exactly.
So, it makes absolutely no sense.
Will this be done by the time we get to our spring golf classic?
No.
Will we be talking about this at the Golf Club of Texas during our spring golf classic?
Yes, we will.
You can be a part of that conversation. Just get your foursome signed up. Go to sasportstar.com. Get your foursome signed up for a spring golf classic happening April 14th, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. It benefits the Pan American Golf Association. $100 a player with their foursome, so $400 total. You can sign up as an individual. It's $120 a person if you do that. We have a shotgun start scheduled for 9 a.m. on April 14th. Again, presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, sponsored in part by Yancira.com and PPL Motorhomes.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is heading to Vegas, and you're coming with us. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas for Mega March, March 27th through the 30th. Catch baseball's opening day and all the hoops action at the world's largest sports book. Then take the party to Stadium Swing with 6 pools and a massive 143-foot screen. Book now at CircaLasVegas.com with promo code BLITZ and join us at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, sun, spirits, and a sure bet for an unforgettable time.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing and telling us a creepy story during the break.
Sure was.
Pledge starts this story with, I was thinking about this morning while I was in the shower.
Listening to Sports Talk Radio.
And brings up Wade Phillips.
Yes.
Now, Wade Phillips will be on the show a little bit later.
Should we ask him if he thinks about Pledge when he's in the shower?
Hey, Wade, what do you think about people thinking about you while they're in the shower? I mean, where do you go with that? I didn't hear anything after that. Like, you're thinking about Wade Phillips in the shower.
Well, he's actually thinking about Wade Phillips' son.
Well,
in the shower. Yeah.
It gets worse.
He brought up a legit question, but I don't know. I'm not sure. And obviously he's the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, correct?
Yep.
Well, he didn't get any. There was no interest that we heard of that was widely reported with him being a head coach or anything like that this offseason. So. Why is that? Is he just happy being an offensive coordinator? Maybe that's the case.
It's game week for Wade. We might ask him.
I don't
Who
know
knows?
If we'll ask him that.
Will we ask him, hey, why is your kid not getting run for a head coaching job? Or why is James Pledger thinking of you in the shower?
I think now that question should be asked.
Yes. Should we tell him?
Absolutely. Coach, our producer thinks about you when he's taking a shower.
Yeah. Also tells me James Pledger desperately needs a girlfriend.
You're a dumb butt.
Oh, my goodness.
And I would like to thank my partner in crime, my co-host, Joe Reinagle. Very generous guy.
I am, yes.
Is old old Joe Reinagle.
Yeah, yep.
Reinagle has a package of peanut M&Ms.
Uh-huh.
Now, in all honesty, earlier, he was like, dude, I forgot I bought these. You want some? And I had a, you just put some out. Pledge had some, and then Joe's eating the rest. And he's like, here, you finish these. And he just hands it to me. There's one left. One. Thanks, Joe.
Well, you're welcome. You are welcome.
Thanks.
In all transparency, I stopped at, there's a little convenience store not far from the radio station here.
One.
And so I stopped in there because I needed to break a 20.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought, well, I'll get some peanut M&Ms.
Okay.
And I can break a 20 and do that. And I had like 2 of them yesterday and put them in my briefcase and forgot about them till today.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
How do you eat just 2 of them?
I could have eaten them all yesterday.
Well, it's crack. I don't know. One, who says no to peanut M&Ms? That's one of the best snacks out there.
My favorite, man.
And so how you can only eat 2 of them is beyond me. But then be like, oh, I've had enough. Here, you finish them, and there's one in there. But
I could have said, sorry.
You could have just.
Hope you didn't want any more.
You could have just finished them.
Was that a tasty one that you just had?
Oh, it was the best one.
There you go.
The best one.
See that? Ungrateful around here. I'm telling you. Share my peanut M&Ms and
M&M, singular.
You had more than one, pal.
Well, at the end. Here, finish. Normally, if you're handing the bag off, there's 3 or 4 or 5 left in there. One. I thought at first you just gave me the empty wrapper. We'll leave that.
I should have. Next time I will.
You leave that for Pledge.
Yeah.
Redbird's Junkie says the orange M&Ms are the best. John says the blues are my favorite. They're all the same.
Yeah, they don't taste any different.
I mean, it's not like Skittles where the different colors have different flavors. The M&Ms, they're all the same regardless of color.
Yeah, I mean, the color doesn't add flavor to it. I'm not sure. All right, well.
Who was the rock star that used to want either a certain color in or out of the bowl? I forget. One of those weird writers from rock stars, like green M&Ms? I mean, you have a microphone, sir. This is where you use it.
I can't remember his name, but I remember the green M&M thing.
Yeah, like they couldn't be in the bowl. Like somebody would have to dump them and pull all the green ones out or something stupid like that.
Why is that? I mean, that's kind of dumb, isn't it?
Dude, when you're rich and you can put a writer in there and you can make somebody do that, you would do that.
Now, see, I wouldn't do that.
Well, you know what I mean.
The only thing I would get rid of is like those cherry, they're not Skittles. What are those? Starburst.
Starburst.
Yeah, I don't like the cherry ones.
See, the cherry ones are the best.
Oh, they're not.
The other red ones they have.
Strawberry.
Maybe that's it. The red ones, there's one, I don't know, like fruit punch flavor Starburst that I'm not a fan of. And then, because if I was ranking those, it'd be red, orange, then yellow, and then that other. Pink isn't bad, and then there's that other red one that I'm not a fan of.
Well, the watermelon's good. I like that. I don't like cherry.
Van Halen inserted a clause in the middle of its contract requesting a bowl of M&Ms in the dressing room with all the brown pieces removed.
Brown pieces? Wow.
That's according to the Googles.
Huh. All right. What difference does it make?
Sam on YouTube says, the blonde at the M&M's factory, she got fired for throwing all the W's away.
That's good, Sam.
Not really.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You going to tell that one later?
That's a good dad joke.
Yeah, it is. It's yes.
It's a good one.
Which makes it bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Mock draft season continues.
Yes, it does.
ESPN's mock draft with Mike Tannenbaum, interesting. And I say interesting, just they all are at this point. Tannenbaum being a general manager, I like reading and listening to what Tannenbaum says versus a reporter because he's coming from the experience of being in that position. And I think that does carry a little bit of weight. Whether you agree or not, it gives you another way to think about different things, right? But when it comes to the Cowboys, he's got a receiver coming to Dallas, the kid out of Arizona, which a lot of people have, although he's quick, but he's not a burner. And all the other receivers kind of linked to Dallas are those speedster guys. And I just know that I said this the other day, kind of leaning towards getting another legit playmaker and wide receiver opposite of CeeDee Lamb because it's CeeDee Lamb and nobody. He hasn't had a number two, a legit number two, since Amari Cooper left. And even then, who was one, who was two, but CeeDee Lamb has not had a solid guy opposite of him. Cooks never was the guy in Dallas that we thought he was going to be. Jalen still isn't that guy. Get another playmaking wide receiver, that will make Dak Prescott better.
Well, Jonathan Mingo, fourth-round pick. I'm just saying, he's there.
Well,
what happens.
He's there. He's taking up space.
I'm not mad at this, and I think everybody's thinking a speedster because let's face it. I mean, CeeDee Lamb can run, but I wouldn't call him a speedster by any stretch of the imagination. So to have a guy opposite him that can get over the top and get deep and go long, I think is something the Cowboys need. Now, this guy is a very good wide receiver, and I wouldn't be mad at that pick. I mean, I think it'd be just fine until I look down at Miami, and then they're drafting an offensive tackle out of Ohio State. I'm wondering, well, why wouldn't the Cowboys do that? I don't know. They could, and Tannenbaum does say Cowboys could go in a number of different directions here. We'll see what they do. But I wouldn't be upset with that pick. This guy's supposed to be the next, and so why not?
Well, one of the things that Tannenbaum writes about McMillan, 33 catches on balls thrown 20 or more yards downfield over his 3 seasons at Arizona, shows his outstanding ability to track the deep ball. He could also play in the slot or outside. And so versatility is certainly there, because if you put him outside and Turpin in the slot, because Turpin's got speed, obviously, but the contract says Turpin's going to be a part of the offense, but we don't really know that yet, and at least until we get out to training camp and see how Schottenheimer wants to use Cavante Turpin. Is he just a special teams guy that contributes some on offense, or will he be a big player within the offensive system?
Well, that's a great question. I have to believe with the contract they gave him that he's going to be called on to play some offense. And we joke about Jonathan Mingo. Look, the guy was good in college. He was adequate, and he just hadn't played out. Maybe he becomes something, maybe that slot guy. But they drafted him for a reason. Look, Trey Lance didn't work out. Maybe Mingo will. It's just, I wish Jerry would stop with the 4th-round draft picks for guys that are on the edge.
Well, I mean, they signed a bunch of guys that used to be first-round draft picks that didn't quite work out where they were drafted. I think one of the best things that Mingo offers, at least at this point, size in the red zone and being a good red zone target. Will Jake Ferguson rebound and have a season like we expected him to have coming off of what he had 2 years ago? Because last year was not a good year for your guy.
Well, it's a contract year, right? I mean, he's going to want to get paid. That always seems to help guys have better years. I expect him to have a better year. I think he's a solid tight end, something the Cowboys can grow with. But there are a lot of guys, and we talked about this. That are coming up and going to have to get paid. Cowboys got a long list of these guys they're going to have to deal with.
Well, they are, and then again, you look at top of the draft for Tannenbaum has Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans.
It's interesting there, Minix, because the Titans are all over the place when it comes to Cam Ward. Maybe they're doing that on purpose. Ward was visiting the Cleveland Browns today.
Well, he's doing a private workout, which, again, Cleveland picks 2. Just in case Tennessee goes a different direction. I think Tennessee, and it's weird because you look at their head coach, offensive guy, wants to go get his quarterback. The idea that if it's not Cam Ward, where's he going to go, or do they trade up? So I don't mind Cleveland kicking the tires and doing what they're doing and putting them through private workouts. I think all the teams will. But you just kind of look at, depending on what happens. I mean, Tannenbaum's got him taking Travis Hunter, which, certainly would make a lot of sense. And then what did the Giants do at number 3? Because they signed Russell Wilson, Tannenbaum has him taking a defensive tackle out of Michigan instead of Shedeur Sanders. So you've got Jameis Winston in New York. You've got Russell Wilson in New York. Either way, Shane and Daboll probably expect to get fired. So do they draft Shedeur Sanders because the new coaching staff would have to want to take Shedeur on? Tannenbaum's got him going in a completely different direction, and Shedeur doesn't come off the board for a while because the Patriots going with an offensive lineman. Jacksonville ends up with Abdul Carter. Genti goes to the Raiders at number 6. The LSU tackle, Will Campbell, goes to the Jets. Jalen Walker, the linebacker from Georgia, goes to Carolina. Surprised the Saints are going with an edge rusher. And now all of a sudden you've got Pittsburgh in a trade with Chicago to move up to get Shedeur Sanders. Do they do that even if they sign or when they sign Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, of course, because Rodgers is only going to be there a year, possibly 2.
Yep.
But I would say, I'd relatively speaking, I would say 1 year for Aaron Rodgers, which then Shedeur would step in there. I think that'd be a good move for them. Look, they have to address that. If they sign Rodgers, that's great, but he's not a long-term solution. They got to find one. And if Shedeur's there at 10 and they trade up, I think that'd be good for them. And I think going to a guy like Mike Tomlin, It'd certainly make Dion happy, I think, just because of the kind of coach that Tomlin is. And Shedeur would benefit from that as well, I think.
It's interesting when you look at it. And, again, about a month away from the draft, just under a month, the maneuvering that's there, but it also tells me, Cam Ward, don't buy a house yet in Nashville.
No, don't do that. I think Tennessee wants somebody to blow them away with a trade offer, and I think that's what they're waiting for. So that's kind of why they're all over the place, although I do think they like Cam Ward and most likely will draft him. But if somebody came and blew them away with a trade offer, I think they'd take it.
As much as I love Cam Ward and want to see him go number 1 overall and have all the success in the world, I don't know that there's a quarterback in this draft that's blowing anybody away.
Yep.
I mean, this quarterback draft, not as good as last year's. Cam Ward would not be the number 1 overall pick or in that conversation a year ago. Probably won't be next year. Timing is everything. So if I'm an organization, how much am I willing to give up to go get Cam Ward? I mean, it won't be long before teams would be willing to do all that kind of stuff for, say, an Arch Manning.
Oh, absolutely.
But I just, Tennessee could wait for somebody to blow them away. I don't know that they're going to get that offer. I mean, we're not talking about a Bryce Young and a C.J. Stroud, and their pedigrees coming out. And quite honestly, you look at what Carolina did to get Bryce Young and what their early returns are, and you go, I don't know if I can do that again.
Although it looks like he may have rounded the corner
Yeah.
and might become that quarterback that everybody thinks he was going to be early on. He played well last year after he was benched. So we'll see there. Look, the Titans are in a pretty good spot, though. And I know everybody's going to laugh at this, but Will Levis is still there. And Will Levis, although he may not be the next great quarterback, he's there and he's serviceable until you can find something else and you try to build your franchise around, do some other things to put some pieces in place. So next year, when it's a better quarterback draft, you can take your shot there perhaps.
Well, in Arch Manning, his physical appearance, the change is noticeable. Let's talk about that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let's talk about health as we age. May feel like you're lacking energy or strength. Maybe you're a little bit moody. Your libido isn't what it used to be. Any of these could be caused by low testosterone. The answer is simple. Go get tested at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Their patient-first VIP experience is fast and easy. And I recommend the providers at Synergenics because their personalized therapy goes well beyond standard treatments. They have been the go-to experts in TRT for well over a decade, and not all TRT is the same. At Synergenics, you'll get a personally optimized TRT treatment plan from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy. And that personalized treatment is key because not all guys have the same testosterone levels. So book your initial appointment. Could be low T. Get checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, where they also have affordable GLP-1 weight loss options. Get the VIP treatment with the TRT experts at Synergenics. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com, SYNERGENX health.com for Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
Does this sound like your marriage? Wake up and realize that there's a better life waiting. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. At Barton & Associates, we specialize in navigating the complexities of divorce law, protecting your best interests, and ensuring you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but here's the thing. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control of the process and secure your future. If you're serious about protecting yourself and securing your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team you need. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. If you're tired of this, then start your better life today with Barton & Associates. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
San Antonio, the NCAA 2025 Men's Final Four is coming April 4th through the 7th. Check out Reese's Men's Final Four Friday, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you can watch open practices and the Reese's NABC All-Star Game at the Alamo Dome for free. And for the music lovers, March Madness Music Festival, presented by AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, with 3 days of free concerts, featuring the biggest acts in music at Tower Park and Hemisphere. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold.
DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Former Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs is headed to the New England Patriots, reportedly signing a 3-year, $69 million deal. Now, former NFL defensive end and Houston Texan J.J. Watt, he's moving up in the broadcasting ranks. CBS announced today that Watt will join the network as an NFL game analyst. He's going to team up with veteran announcer Ian Eagle. They will be considered the number 2 broadcast team.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on this Wednesday. Wednesdays with Wade. Wade Phillips, head coach of the Brahmas, will join us at 4:35.
Looking forward to that. It is Hump Day, by the way. Happy Hump Day, everybody.
Hump Day?
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
It's Hump Day. It's always good. Best day of the week, one of them for sure.
Today's a great day. I getting told it's raining on the south side. Not here at the radio station yet. Just check the cameras at home. Not raining at my house. As long as everything's clear around 9 o'clock, because that's when our plane takes off tonight.
Yes. Just get up over the clouds. That's all we want to do.
Just take off on time.
Yeah.
And then land on time. And hopefully nothing crazy at the airport like what we saw yesterday in Dallas.
Holy cow. Did you guys hear about this thing? This lady running around buck naked.
Yeah.
In the terminal there, one of the gates, and just dumping water all over the floor and breaking monitors.
I don't know if she had a gummy or a drink, if she was having some sort of mental issue, whatever the case was. That wasn't normal behavior. And what I found most interesting is like the guy cops wouldn't go near her. Like if that was a dude, he would have been tackled. But it's a lady, a naked lady, they wouldn't touch her.
Yeah, but even a lady walked up and with a coat, right, and tried to hand that to her, and she ran off, and nobody chased her. This went on for a long time, and nobody did anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know how it ended. The video ended. I didn't see a follow-up. Just, I'm glad. Like, I see all this crazy stuff happen at airports and on airplanes. I've never seen any of that, and quite frankly, I'm glad. I've never been on a plane where a fight broke out or, I don't know, somebody accused somebody of not being real. I've never seen any of that on any of the flights I've been on, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Well, I'd like to keep it that way, too. I don't need any of that kind of drama, especially tonight.
Yep.
No drama. Want a smooth flight. No issues. Plenty of drinks on the way.
That's it.
And just want to relax and enjoy the flight.
See old Vince checking in on our YouTube chat, which you can as well on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Says, howdy, thought you guys were going to Vegas. We are tonight. We will be live at Circa Las Vegas tomorrow and Friday. You can still go. You can go. Book that last-minute flight. Promo code Blitz when you book your rooms at circalasvegas.com. Save you some money.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun time. There's no doubt about it. Tomorrow's opening day of baseball, so we'll be celebrating that with Greg Maddux, former Atlanta Braves great. And then, of course, Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament. Looking forward to that.
Cannot wait. Let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
All the Final Four talk. And tomorrow we'll be in Vegas, Sweet 16 round, opening day of Major League Baseball. You look at the women's bracket, and right now, there is one person on this planet that has a perfect March Madness bracket for the ladies' side. There's a problem, though. This person did not pick a national champion.
Isn't that sad? I mean, that really is sad. I think she has South Carolina, and I can't remember the other team she has playing for the national title. But I say she. It is a female, right? I think it is, who's got that bracket. Anyway, she forgot to name a champion. I mean, and you could do that. I can see where that would happen, right? Because you can save your bracket. Right? And then you forget, and the tournament started, and you're screwed.
Now, according to NCAA's tracker, there is a grand total of 33 perfect brackets remaining in the women's tournament, but one is incredibly unique because this person did not select a champion when they submitted it and before it was locked. The bracket without a champion was submitted on CBS, where there are three other perfect women's brackets remaining, but it doesn't have a champion. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that would kind of suck if your bracket's perfect and then you get screwed because you forgot one.
The bracket's name is RIPS 2025 Women's NCAA Bracket. RIP to your perfect bracket. All the way to the championship game.
Wow. Well, that sucks. Sorry about that. But, details matter.
Well, and like we can't go in and change matchups and games, right?
No. Once the tournament starts, you're done.
It's locked.
It's locked. That's it. So I can see it now. Well, I'm just not decided on a national champion, and I'll go back in later and get it done. And then the tournament starts, and, you're screwed.
I believe they got South Carolina and LSU in the championship game. That sucks.
LSU and South Carolina, yeah.
Whew. Sucks for them.
It does. It's the way it goes, though. Lesson learned, Minix.
Mm-hmm. Arch Manning at Pro Day yesterday. A lot of people noticed. Interesting the number of NFL GMs like Les Snead talking to Arch Manning, even though he wasn't participating in Pro Day. But a lot of people noticed, dude, he looks stronger. He looks bigger than he was. You could tell the weight room and the diet plan, the nutrition plan there on the 40 acres is fantastic.
Obviously it is, although I look at it and I'm like, I don't see a lot of difference. I guess he's bulked up. I mean, am I supposed to see a Hulk? I didn't see that. I guess he's bigger, sure.
Look at his arms.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a freaking quarterback, okay? He's not supposed to be a big, bulky dude. He's bigger. He needs to be bigger. I get that. It's fine.
I mean, if his arm is stronger,
but I mean,
that's better.
It's kind of like I don't know. I was not blown away. I read the headline of that story, and I go look at the pictures, and that's Arch. All right.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about that coming up at 3:35. Our friend Bob Ballou will talk about Pro Day and Sean Miller as the new head basketball coach. So many colleges have gotten away from spring games. Deion Sanders wants to do spring games like NFL preseason, and he's actually getting a lot of support for this idea. Obviously, it won't happen this year, but that might be something we see next offseason.
Well, I hope so, because I think just from a fan standpoint, I don't think the teams necessarily need it, but from a fan standpoint, that would be a blast, and the fans should be rewarded in that way. If the NCAA would do something right for a change and figure out this whole transfer portal thing, that would be nice too.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly.
There are over 1,000 basketball players in that portal right now.
Unbelievable that they would do this.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous. I mean, even a moron. If you're working at the NCAA and you're like, let's open the transfer portal that day. It's like you think somebody might say, hey, dude, that's right before the Sweet 16 round of the tournament. I don't care. It sounds good to me. Oh, that's a great idea, Jim. Holy cow.
Speaking of great ideas, the Mavs need to stop talking. Mavs brass needs to stop talking. I am not a Mavericks fan, but, man, I feel bad for Dallas Mavericks fan because they just won't shut up about trying to justify trading away Luka. The Mavs CEO, a guy named Rick Welts, of all places last night on the Knicks broadcast, trying to defend trading away Luka.
I'm listening every day to how fans are feeling about everything, not just the trade, okay? And I think when they get to know this ownership group, when they get to know what they're all about, I really do think you're going to see all the ingredients for success here and the commitment to reach that success. You're going to get to know me as a glass half full guy. I think what this really proved to me was the emotional connection between our fans and this team. It's extraordinary, unlike anything I've seen in my 47 years. And there is a lot of emotion about it. It's a trade. The wonderful thing about our business is these things have a scorecard, right? Time, wins and losses will tell whether the deal was a good deal or a bad deal. I just am going to promise to our fans right now, whatever trust we have lost or whatever concerns they have, we're going to earn it back because we're going to do this the right way. We're going to win championships.
They need a PR guy, a new one. Yeah, you've lost a lot of trust. It's going to be hard for you guys to earn that back from their fans. But there's a scorecard. We'll know in time if this was a good or bad trade. No, we know now this was a bad trade. This was a bad trade for a variety of reasons, Mr. CEO guy Rick Welts.
I just wonder how Anthony Davis feels about all of this, because he hears it, that people hate this trade, and he was the major player on the other side. I just wonder how he feels about that, and will it light a fire under his behind? I mean, seriously, I would. I mean, he's a competitor. will it light a fire under him to be better and to show Mavericks fans that, this wasn't such a bad trade after all?
Even if the Mavericks end up winning championships, whether they're still in Dallas or they're moved to Las Vegas.
Well, there's that.
It's still a bad trade just because they didn't get enough in return for a young superstar like Luka. Like, just on the principle, we all saw that and went, that's all? I mean, and Anthony Davis, he did play the whole game. He didn't get hurt during the game, so there's that. And even if the Mavericks end up winning something down the road, they should have gotten so much more for Luka.
They should have.
The scorecard is out there already, dude. Stop talking. They should stop talking until next year.
Well, here's the deal, right? You talk about Vegas and how that could actually become a reality. Once the new owners of the Mavericks realized that gambling wasn't coming to Texas anytime soon, they've taken still going to build a resort kind of thing, or with an arena and all that stuff, but they wanted a casino in there.
Yep.
Right? So they've taken that away. So they're no longer going to do that. I just wonder, well, what the hell? Why do we have to stay in Dallas?
Vegas is getting a team sometime. Now, we all think LeBron's probably going to end up owning that team. LeBron did talk today with Pat McAfee. Had some interesting things to say about Stephen A. The drama between those two continues. We'll dive into that coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is heading to Vegas, and you're coming with us. Join Jason and Joe from The Blitz at Circa Las Vegas for Mega March, March 27th through the 30th. Catch baseball's opening day and all the hoops action at the world's largest sports book. Then take the party to Stadium Swing with 6 pools and a massive 143-foot screen. Book now at CircaLasVegas.com with promo code BLITZ and join us at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, sun, spirits, and a sure bet for an unforgettable time.
Rox Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit RoxDiscountVitamins.com.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio.
Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Something amazing is happening in workplaces everywhere. Devices are learning how people work and adapting to help them get more done. That's because CDW is modernizing experiences with Dell's intelligent portfolio of devices. Thanks to built-in security and AI capabilities, your teams can work smarter wherever they may be. Dell and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Woo!
What are you
Can't
doing?
help but move.
Well, you got to bounce like Pledges in the other room.
Is that what you call that?
Pledge fancies himself as a DJ. You know how they push a little button on their deal and then they jump up and down?
I'm just trying to get y'all ready for Circa.
Oh, yeah.
That's you got to have a boom, boom, boom.
You've got that. I mean, Pledge is over there acting like he's the Diplo.
He's a conductor in there, right?
What was that? You're watching on YouTube.
I'm just saying that's a hell.
You're in for some sort of treat.
Do the robot. I never fancied myself a dancer.
That's obvious.
Yeah, nah, I'm not a dancer. No rhythm here, I'll tell you.
None. Can't wait to see what the comments show up on YouTube because, Sam wants to know if you'll do the water sprinkler.
No, I'm good at that. I'm pretty good at that, really.
There you go. You've never looked whiter, my friend.
I'm telling you, but that's a good water sprinkler right there,
Is
buddy.
it?
Yeah.
It's raining outside. You
Perfect.
don't need it. And if it's not raining where you are, apparently it will.
It's all right. That's good. I mean, it's spring, right? We need it. At least that's what they tell me.
Sure.
We always need rain.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Heard that for 25 years. It would rain like 6 inches, and then, Bill Taylor, we're still in a drought. I'm like, damn.
It's
like, wow.
We're always in a drought.
Okay.
Always in a drought. Kind of like the Spurs, although, they did win 3 in a row against some bad teams, played a good team, and they got run out of the gym last night.
That was awful, dude. I mean, I honestly had to stop watching that nonsense.
Yeah.
It was, Detroit is good. I mean, they're a good basketball team. And they didn't even have their best player last night. Cade Cunningham didn't play. The Spurs just look like, it's too hard.
We're trying to avoid the play-in. Last night was perfect.
That's not.
It was for me because I don't want them in the play-in.
Well, they're not.
Again, right? They played some bad teams. One, you're feeling good about yourself, and they got a reality check last night.
They did get that, yes.
It's kind of like Stephen A. getting a reality check from LeBron James. Now, LeBron, Lakers play the Pacers tonight in Indianapolis. Game you can listen to starting at 6 o'clock here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So with LeBron in Indy, he went over to see old Pat McAfee. And, design there, the news coming out of that is LeBron is bringing his podcast back with Steve Nash as the co-host. Remember, J.J. Redick was. Now it's going to be Steve Nash. Interesting choice, I think, because never thought of Steve Nash as a broadcaster type.
No, he never really had that personality. Right?
Yeah, it's a 3-year deal with Amazon. The rich get richer. But obviously he's on with McAfee, and they're going to bring up, it was going to, the whole thing with Stephen A. was certainly brought up.
You and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing it as well.
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, we're fine. What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, and like another, he completely missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the freezer and sit in his chair and his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. Yeah, but you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax. Seriously.
That's pretty funny. Oh, LeBron, that's good. Now he was upset. He said because he attacked Bronny personally. I don't recall what he did or said that he attacked Bronny personally.
To go through everything that's been said about Bronny, I don't know that it was ever personal other than daddy. But if you're LeBron, I could see where you might take that as a personal attack. LeBron knows where he stands in the league, and he said, whether it's my household or protecting players, there's a right way and a wrong way. Analyze, critique, criticize. That's your job. You get personal, you're crossing the line, and I think that's fair. And LeBron's the face of the NBA right now. If he feels it's his responsibility to defend, and certainly his own household, I'm there. And he caught himself like Stephen A. on a Taylor Swift tour. Great line. And he's right. Stephen A. is loving the fact that LeBron's talking about him. I don't know about sitting there eating ice cream in your tidy whities, but what a visual.
That visual I'd rather not have. But look, all of us kind of do. Look at, Pat McAfee. What made him popular? That bum Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
The guy's funny, and he's got a good show, but, it was really Aaron Rodgers that kind of put him on the map in a lot of ways. So, look, if Stephen A. is going to use this little spat with LeBron, not that he needs any more publicity or money. He's doing very well himself. But, look, I'm not sure what that was all about, because now all I hear from everybody, y'all going to admit you're wrong when it comes to Bronny James?
Bronny has earned that.
That guy just scored 39 points in the G League. Woo! He's back.
Well, it was in the G League.
Well, exactly. But you hear all these knuckleheads on these national shows that are Laker slurpers, and they're just like, oh, well, see, you should admit you're wrong now. Look what Bronny did in the G League. It's like, I'm like, it's one game, first and foremost. It's ridiculous. I mean, just turn loose of his behind and let's move on. 39 points, you need to admit it.
Bronny has earned it.
In the G League. In the G League. Now, if he did that in the NBA game more than once, all right. But it's comical.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It's comical. UT had their pro day yesterday. Quinn Ewers didn't look all that great and then didn't talk to the media. Sean Miller did yesterday as the new basketball coach. Lots to talk about with the Texas Longhorns. So we reached out to our Longhorn insider, Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin, will join us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Huddle, the March Madness continues. Sweet 16 tipping off.
Lots of great basketball. Spurs are still busy. Is there ever going to be an Aaron Rodgers signing? And Micah Parsons would rather tweet than smoke weed. We'll talk about it. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maintenance coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
At Round Table Pizza, our signature ingredients like made-from-scratch dough, our 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge create your perfect pizza. Try our new pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza, available for a limited time. You can enjoy a large for only $19.99 at participating locations. Plus, pair your pizza with our irresistible shareables. To find your nearest location or to order for pickup or delivery, head to roundtablepizza.com. That's roundtablepizza.com.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. The San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for our home opener Sunday, April 27th at 2 when the Brahmas bring the Fiesta to the gridiron with our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas themed game. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Tickets on sale now at uflbrahmas.com. That's uflbrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Bob Ballou, fresh off the beach, had a busy day yesterday. So much going on the 40 acres. Let's talk about it. Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Do you want to start Pro Day or Sean Miller?
Oh, I was going to start with spring practice yesterday morning because that's where it all started at 9:30 when we got our first look at the Texas football team. And I just didn't know if Joe was calling for Trey Owens to start over Arch Manning yet.
Well, I'm just here. I got a legit question for you, Bob.
That's a first.
Because I wake up this morning, see the headline is like, "Oh, teams ought to be afraid of Arch Manning. Look how he's bulked up." Did you see? I looked at the pictures and I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I guess. Was he?
I think that.
Yeah, tell me.
I think we all need to – let me start by saying I think all of the guys that work in the online sites, Orange Bloods, On3, 24/7, all like across the board, I think all of them do a really good job of reporting on Texas football. They have great sources. They do all those things. We are, let's see, what's today, March 26th, so we're 3 months basically into the season ending. Quinn, 2 months into Quinn moving on. Now Arch is the starter. I remember sometime in January there was a tweet from someone, and it was one word about Arch Manning. I can't remember what it was. He's a problem, or he's unbelievable, or like whatever it was. And I actually wrote a friend of mine who works in the Texas football program, and I said, I don't know that I can do this for 2 years. Like, I don't know. I don't know that I could cover this team with the amount of insane high. And listen, it's deserved. Like, he's going to be great. I think we all believe that. But, like, it's like, have you seen what he's doing in winter conditioning? And you're just like, oh, my God. Like, do we have to do this for 2 years or a year or whatever it is? No, but I mean, the hype train is obviously coming. Listen, I think everybody looks for little things, details, like what do you see in Arch? Do you see him being a leader? I mean, we were out there for, I think, 17 minutes yesterday. Some of it was stretching. Some of it was, they were throwing passes and whatever. He looks great. I don't know that we need to hype it up more than that. He looks great. He looks like he's going to be an absolute stud. We all know that.
You say all that, Bob. Hang on, but you were out there for 17 minutes, not about 20 minutes, not about 50, 17. Like you timed the amount that you got to breathe the same air as Arch Manning.
I think we've actually done that since we were at a Sugar Bowl practice 2 years ago, and we were allowed 15 minutes to watch them stretch and run a couple whatever. And at the 9-minute mark, Steve Sarkisian said, "John, get him the F out of here." And we all started laughing. We're like, "We've got 6 more minutes to watch you stretch. What do you mean we got to leave?" And so they like kicked us out of the practice. And we just kind of like, since then, it's been kind of a funny joke of like, oh yeah, we've got to, we have a 20-minute window, and we actually got 23 minutes today. So they gave us 3 more minutes. Maybe that made up for the Sugar Bowl. It's just been kind of a running joke. So yeah, but I just say that as like, we don't get to see much. Obviously, we all rely on people inside that are watching or whoever to give us some information. But, you know, I'm already, again, we're 2 months into this. I'm already just kind of like, okay, we know he's going to be really good. It's going to be really exciting to see the progress. Every little bit of thing that happened. Again, when he lost his ID his freshman year, it was like the biggest story in the world that he dropped his ID somewhere on campus. Somebody found it. Like, and then it's, oh, is he irresponsible? Can he not take? And you're just like, oh my gosh, guys, no, he just dropped his ID. We've all done it. So you just try to like calm the waters and be like, he's going to be really good. It's going to be really fun to watch him play, and then we move on from there.
Now, speaking of spring practice this morning, let's stay with that for a moment. One guy that wasn't there, former Smithson Valley Ranger stud Freddie DeBose, wide receiver, apparently not on the Longhorn team anymore. Well, that was a surprise to me. What do you know about Freddie not being a Longhorn?
Yeah, and I believe he'd been injured. I think he had the knee injury, and I think coming back from that, was pretty tough. And you know, again, I think with guys now, the best thing that coaches can do, and I feel like Sark has said this is what he does, is be upfront and honest about where you are, where we think you can go, and who you can be for our program. And I don't know the details of this one with Freddie. I don't have anything on that, but I can tell you that if it's a situation for a kid where they're like, listen, we've got 7 guys already that have passed you in the transfer portal, we think it'd be best for you to open and go give other options because we want you to succeed or whatever it is. I don't see a problem with that. You know, this happened with Jonte Cook in the middle of last year where, you know, it finally it kind of came to a head and he left, and then he went to Washington and they kicked him off the team, and he's been arrested. It's been one thing after another. So, you know, those situations are, you know, the team handles it, Sark handles it the way he handles it, and then they move forward. You know, again, like I said, I don't have a ton of information on it. I just know that if that's the case, it's something that, you know, they move forward from, and they've got a good wide receiver core that, you know, not a ton of experience. It's just Ryan Wingo and DeAndre Moore. So there's a ton of opportunity for a lot of these young guys to come in and make a mark. And then we'll see if they get anything in the transfer portal. But that's kind of where they stand right now.
I'm sure they will, Bob. Bob Ballou with KI Sports in Austin. When you look at Quinn Ewers yesterday, and it wasn't just Quinn, obviously. It was a pro day for Texas. A lot of NFL people there, including Nick Caserio, who was there with the Houston Texans. I know that.
Yeah.
Look, everybody looks good at pro day, okay? So I'm not going to ask you, how did Quinn look, Bob?
Not good, though.
But, I mean, everybody looks pretty good at it. But did anybody that you saw not named Quinn Ewers stand out that may have made an impression on somebody?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think that's kind of what you're always looking for, right, is they had, 14 guys go to the Combine. So they all had, for the most part, they all had a chance to show there. Jaden Blue is a guy that he told us he had a little tear in his groin when he was at the Combine, and he still ran a 4.38, I think, if I remember right. Yesterday he ran a 4.25. So certainly that's a big eye opener for the, you know, the scouts, the head coaches that were. Kellen Moore was there, Mike Vrabel was there, Chuck Pagano was there. We saw, you know, just a bunch of guys that, you know, the names of the NFL. So we knew this was a big one. Jaden, I think, had a good day. Gavin Holmes was a guy that I thought had a good day, cornerback that, you know, really impressed in some of the, you know, the vertical, the what was it? Vertical broad jump, maybe. There was something else that he did that I thought 3-cone drill. Like they did, they do all these things that you can kind of see it in guys. The other guy that I think had a good day was Gunnar Helm. It's been a rough go for him. Obviously, he twists his ankle on his 40 run and has to rerun it. But he's another guy that I think is going to have a really successful long NFL career for Texas. I feel like there was somebody else that I'm not thinking of that had a good day. But regardless, I mean, there are 21 guys there, and again, they're doing, you're pushing up weights, you're doing the vertical, you're doing the broad jump. I think the thing that everybody was waiting for was Quinn to throw. Was really, so let me give you the Quinn day. I'm sure you guys have heard this a little bit, but he gets under center for his first snap from Jake Majors, and they fumble the snap. It happens. Get right back under center, and then he starts popping passes. I mean, they were quick. They were on target. Everything was on target. It was good. Threw some deep balls. A couple of them were wobbly, but for the most part, I thought it was all right. I try not to take too much from it. I think we've all seen the tape. We've all seen, what you believe he can and can't do. But he was, rolling out, throwing off one foot, throwing sidearm. He showed a lot of his repertoire. I thought it was fine. I didn't think there was anything like that would deter a team or just like wow a team. I mean, I think at this point, who he is. And what I've said from the beginning, I think when he goes into a private workout, I think he's going to wow a team, and there's going to be a team that takes him higher than maybe what we expected. Whatever that is, I don't know. For some people, they're saying he could go as late as the 5th round. I think that's insane. I don't think he'll get past the 3rd round. I think it would be somewhere in the 2nd, early in the 3rd that we'll see Quinn go. Now, again, you never know with these quarterbacks. Sometimes, we've talked about like the Mitchell Trubisky's and those guys that out of nowhere just shoot up the board, and all of a sudden Mitchell Trubisky is the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Quinn, but I do think there are going to be teams that fall in love with him because he can make a lot of throws that a lot of other quarterbacks can't make.
That said, he didn't even talk to the media yesterday, and I know based on some of the things I saw on Twitter, a lot of people were a little upset with him for not talking yesterday. And a lot of speculation because on some of those deep passes, the receivers had to wait. Maybe they weren't as crisp. I don't know. Did he feel like he had a bad day, didn't talk to the media? But were you surprised?
Right.
Was he supposed to talk to the media? Was that on the schedule and then he just didn't do it?
There's no schedule. Those guys can do whatever they want on pro day. I know Texas tries to grab a couple of them and bring them over. I think we ended up getting like 9 guys yesterday, which was great. I mean, they were all happy to talk to us. Here's the thing. So I think there's an in-between here. I do think that some of the criticism is warranted. I was a little surprised he didn't talk. He basically, this thing kind of ended for him, and he went over and talked to his agent and some of the people that were there, and he stood there for 10, 15 minutes talking to them, talked to a few other people, and then literally, like, they walked right past us out, and one of the guys said, "Hey, Quinn, do you have a few minutes to talk?" And he never even turned around, kept walking. I was a little surprised. I thought he'd give us 5 or 6 minutes to just say, "Yeah, felt good." Whatever he felt. It's kind of like the mutual respecting. Like we've had a good amount of respect for him in his 3 years here. There were a couple Mondays he missed this year. He got the exact same criticism. Why is he not here on the Monday before whatever game it is? Like after the Georgia game when all that stuff happened, when Arch came in and then Quinn came back for the second half or whatever. We didn't talk to him for weeks. And we were like, why are we not talking to Quinn? Like he's your starting quarterback. What's happening? And so, I think there's a little bit of criticism that is well-deserved there. I think some of it might have been a little over the top. I think some people came to defend it and said, he doesn't have to talk. He doesn't know you anything. True. But, I don't know. After 3 years, and I just kind of expected him to come over for 5 or 6 minutes. And again, in the end, this is not that big a deal. He had a meeting with an NFL team after that, like right after the pro day, so that's where he was headed. But he also stood there for 10 or 15 minutes when 5 of it he could have come over and talked to us. So you can look at it however you want. I didn't think it was like this huge deal that needs to, we need to be an uproar over it. But I also thought, he would come over and talk to us. So I was a little surprised he did.
You guys are has-beens, Bob.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, he's done with you. He's done.
Jake Majors, the center, came over and he said, "Hey, see a lot of familiar faces here. And I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, you never know. Some of these guys may have hated dealing with us for 4 or 5 years. So, and he kind of laughed about it. But yeah, we've got a lot of great relationships with a lot of these guys because we've covered them since they were in high school. Obviously, Jade Barron and Andrew Makuba were part of the programs here in Austin, and stayed here and went to school here, and so we've known those guys for 6, 7, 8 years, some of them, and then the recruiting guys obviously know those guys as well because they talked to them in high school. So that was it was I thought all those guys thought it was nice to have one more kind of together moment with 21 guys getting to show off for the NFL scouts and have that final day in burnt orange.
All right, Bob. Jason and I discussed this yesterday. Sean Miller, splash hire or not?
I don't know that not splash. I don't think that's the right word. I think splash hire is John Calipari, Rick Pitino, Bruce Pearl, maybe. There aren't many. I don't think there are many college coaches that you would go, wow. Like even Nate Oates, I wouldn't be like, that's a splash hire. I think Nate's been a good coach at Alabama for quite a few years now. But that's not a splash hire. I think the guys that have the personalities, Bill Self probably would have been a splash hire here. Yeah. But I don't, again, I don't know that it's necessary to have a splash hire. If you look at what Sean Miller's done, he's been successful everywhere he's been. He's the 5th highest winning percentage of all coaches that are active coaches right now. And obviously he was elite when he was at Arizona. That's been the one big school. Not to knock Xavier is like not a big school, but Arizona's the one major conference stop that he's had, and they went to 4 Elite Eights in 8 years. They went to I think 6 Sweet 16s in that span. Now he hasn't made a Final Four, and so obviously he has that burning desire. I kind of had that stat last night. It was pretty good. The 4 coaches that are above him, winning percentage wise, have a combined 19 Final Fours. Wow. And he has 0. So but I asked CDC that yesterday. I said, was there hesitation in hiring him because he hasn't made a Final Four and proven he can do it? And he gave the kind of a typical CDC passionate answer about how he's got that burning fire in his chest and it's what he wants more than anything. And all those things he said, you look at Schloss. Schloss went to the College World Series on repeat. He's never won it. He was a game away last year. He's never won it, but he's got that burning desire to do it. Mike White, the softball coach, he starts going through it. Steve Sarkisian, obviously he's gone to the college football playoff, but they haven't won it, and they've all got that desire, and they're going to break through because of the resources at Texas and all those things. So they believe in Sean Miller. I think it's a good hire. I was kind of like when I originally heard that's where they were going with this, I was kind of like, okay. And then you start digging into it, and you're like, no, he's a really, really good basketball coach. And with what happened at Arizona and how that flipped upside down on him, and all the illegal stuff, and then I think when all that stuff is quote unquote cleared, and then they say, and now it's legal to pay players and whatever, you're kind of like, all right, whatever. You get to a point with this stuff, you're like, everybody probably cheats somehow. So
he's good at paying players, and now he can do that with Texas's wallet.
And now he can do it. Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Let me ask you this though, and again, Sean Miller's the new head coach. Rodney Terry is out. You were on vacation, literally on a beach, and is Rodney Terry gonna keep his job, lose his job? Are you surprised that there is a new basketball coach, or did you see this coming?
No, I mean, I think we all saw this coming, and it's probably even festered from last year. But Rodney won he won the first round game and then lost to Rick in Tennessee in a really close game. But I think everybody kind of saw it coming this year more than any, in the sense that you had one of the nation's top freshmen. You built fairly. I mean, I don't think there were a lot of people that didn't love the roster, but there were some guys that could have made an impact. They were hit with injury bug. Different things happened, and I just think. One of the guys here made a really good point to me that I think was kind of opened my eyes to a thought about this. But when Chris Beard was hired at Texas in 2021, I can't remember what year it was, when Shaka left, Rodney Terry was not in the top 25 names on that list for the job. He took over an impossible situation where a coach gets fired mid-year, and he led that team to the Elite Eight. And it was an incredible job. Texas, again, I thought it was well-deserved he got the job. I don't think there was any question at the time that was the right move for Texas. But when you see kind of this team go 19-16, you just kind of go, what's the direction of the program? And what I always said, I think I said this to you guys at one point, Chris Del Conte has to make the decision. Is Rodney Terry the coach that's going to lead them to a national championship? Not to get them back in the tournament every year, not to be seventh in the SEC, and is he a coach that's going to get them to be atop of the SEC where all these teams have gotten great? Is he the guy that's going to do that? Now the other side of that is, and I'll kind of go to bat for Rodney on this point. There was a chance they could have gotten JT Toppin last year. He's at Texas Tech having an awesome year. Well, they didn't pay for him. And so then you go, well, is the NIL money or whatever money they're going to use, are the donors not going to pay for Rodney Terry? And so that becomes another conflict. If the donors don't believe in the head coach, they're not going to spend the money. So they're like, you can go a million different directions with this. I think in the end, Rodney he loves this place more than anything. I think the players love him, but it was time for a change. I was not surprised at all. I was definitely not surprised it happened when I was on vacation, because every time I go out of town, something crazy happens. But this was not a real surprise to me. And I've been hearing Sean Miller's name. In fact, there was a rumor that 3 years ago when they played in the Sweet 16, if Xavier had beaten Texas in that Sweet 16, there was a belief that Sean Miller would have left Xavier and come to Texas, and Texas would have hired him. So CDC's loved him for a long time. And now now it's come to fruition, and he's their head basketball coach.
And he looks just like Sark. I mean, what are you going to do? He was trying so hard yesterday to incorporate the Texas ties he has. It was really kind of funny. He's like, I met Tom Penders in second grade. When I was 9 years old, I was at a camp, and we won the championship, and Rick Barnes coached me, and he's, naming off the players and doing all that stuff. But I didn't think he was overbearing. I didn't think he was a championship rah-rah, this is how it's going to happen, or whatever. Like, he was just pretty matter-of-fact about, this is what I believe in, this is what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to do it, and this is our style of play and our style of culture. And it wasn't like, you didn't feel like he was overbearing and coming at you with, like, this, I've got to win the press conference, which I think you get a lot of times. It was more just like, here's who I am, here's what's going to happen, and here's how we're going to win.
And we've got to get to Pro Day because Quinn Ewers is going to throw. Bob Ballou.
Exactly.
Yes.
From KI Television in Austin. Always appreciate it. Glad you're back from vacation, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime. Talk to you soon.
Good stuff. Bob Ballou on the Buyers Barricades at Guest Line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Certainly seems like Brock Purdy is about to get paid. We'll give you the latest coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Taking you home with The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best Select brake rotors. You can upgrade to Brake Best Select brake pads for just $10 more, or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or import direct pads for just $20 more. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts. Offer in store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Nigel, what are you doing with all this stuff in the break room? It looks like a farmer's market in here.
I'm changing my eating habits, embracing good quality nutrition with fresh produce.
Call Quarter Moon for your $58.99 AC inspection. For a limited time, just $58.99.
Nigel, that's a pretty impressive healthy salad you've assembled.
Thanks, Joel. Now step back. The grease is hot.
Grease?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E and 16004. The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, herniation, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sportsbook, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com. And join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. That's exactly what I did. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home evaluation. That's Orchard.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Spurs are back in action tomorrow night in Cleveland against the Cavs after they snapped their 3-game win streak last night in Detroit, losing to the Pistons 122-96. Former Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs headed to the New England Patriots, reportedly signing a 3-year, $69 million deal. And how about J.J. Watt in the broadcast booth for CBS? He's headed there with Ian Eagle.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Had to get one in there.
You had to.
Why not?
You're disappointing the people.
Well, I know. I saw a couple of them, and especially somebody that I had never seen in here before, who told me that I'm really letting her husband down. I'm trying to find her name, but I can't seem to find it.
That's lovely.
Doesn't matter, but yeah, her husband's down, so I feel bad. Cheyenne Miller.
Cheyenne
Miller says, my husband is very sad. that he hasn't heard Joe do Hump Day, Wednesday. His favorite day, LOL.
The question I have, there's a number of people that are like, when did you stop that? Dude, you haven't done that all year.
I haven't done
Where
it all year.
have you guys been?
I don't know. I'll throw one in every now and then.
Every
Why
now
not?
and then.
Why not?
The reality is you more like saying, yeah.
Yeah, I do like saying that.
That's your favorite part of the whole bit.
Yeah, give me a Hump Day pledge.
Hump Day?
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're driving out there. Apparently the rain is either at you or near you. Seeing all kinds of stuff. Alamo Ranch area has gotten a lot of rain. Apparently the rain so bad out by the Golf Club of Texas, they've closed the range the rest of the day because of the weather out there. Hasn't hit the radio station yet, but I know it's on the way.
Well, I just somebody else on our YouTube said that around UTSA they were hearing thunder. So I guess it's moving that way from the south side to the, I guess, west. I don't know. Anyway, be on the lookout for a rainstorm. There you go. There's your weather forecast for the day.
Thanks so much,
Joe
Bill
Taylor.
Reinagel.
Yeah. I do what I can.
Speaking of the Golf Club of Texas, we will have great weather on April 14th. Get signed up for our spring golf tournament brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Go to sasportstar.com and get your foursome signed up. It's $400, $100 a player, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association. Brock Purdy won't have any issue signing up for a golf tournament for the rest of his life. There are reports out there from one Jordan Schultz. Don't know if we'll get a fight that ensues, but according to Schultz, they are close. Deal that is being finalized that is going to pay him between $50 and $55 million a year.
So he look, there were reports out there that he wanted the Dak Prescott treatment, the $60 million, and the 49ers were not going to have any of that. And so it looks like he's going to be, middle of the pack somewhere, towards the top, but not quite the top when it comes to quarterback pay. And I think that's right, I think, for a Brock Purdy.
Well, when you look at where he's coming, I mean, 55, 60. I'm gonna go all Josh Allen. What's $5 million a year?
Well, I don't know. He lives in San Francisco, so that's a lot.
Yeah, good point.
Jeez.
But for a guy that was drafted Mr. Irrelevant, and at times wondering how much San Francisco really believed in him, to get a deal in at that range, but I'm going to guess lower year average, I wonder what the guarantees are going to be. There's something in there when you're in that top of the line, because, 50, 55, that's to a range, right? And so what are you using as your comps? And, if the 49ers are like, nope, we're not, 60 is too much, 50, I'm curious what they're using as their comps to come up with this, but also, were they able to work any kind of trade and get anything for him? No. So you're going to have to pay him. So where is that happy medium of what you wanted to spend versus what you're going to end up spending?
Well, look, I think if you're Brock Purdy, you've got a legit argument to make that you should get a long-term deal somewhere in that range because, you have taken this team to the Super Bowl. You've taken them, you've done a pretty good job in your short time there as quarterback of the 49ers. So I think he has a legitimate beef to say, look, I've earned this. And if it's not with you, then trade me somewhere else. And they need to pay me. He's a good quarterback. And he's a solid quarterback. Throws a good ball. He's got his faults. There's no doubt about that. You're going to have to continue to put stars around him. There's no question about that. But he is a legit quarterback that deserves to get a contract.
It's crazy when you think about, like, Dak Prescott, because of injuries, was able to cash in and get discovered. Brock Purdy is the same way. You think about Trey Lance breaks his ankle and Brock Purdy comes in. and hasn't looked back. Trey Lance might be headed to Canada, and I say might because there's zero indication that he's interested in playing in Canada. He is not signed with an NFL team, so he's still a free agent. But the Saskatchewan Roughriders have basically claimed Trey Lance, put him on their negotiating list. So if Trey says, I want to play football somewhere, the Roughrider, Saskatchewan, has the exclusive rights to negotiate a contract with him.
Look, and that would be the best thing that could happen to Trey Lance. He needs reps. Everybody has said that. The guy needs reps. Obviously, he's a talented guy, but he just hasn't played a lot of football. And I think going to the Canadian League or even going to the Spring League, I'm not sure that he would do that. Is his ego too much to do that? I don't know. But reps is what this guy needs, and maybe it would resurrect his career, and he would have an opportunity back in the NFL.
If I'm Trey, I mean, that's it. Trey Lance he didn't play a lot of football in college. He didn't play a lot of football as a pro. He needs to go somewhere. I look at, now his dad played for Saskatchewan, so there is a tie there, a connection. But even then, if I'm Trey Lance, I'm looking at the UFL because you're playing on a football field that's the same as the NFL and a lot more similar rules than in the NFL. Now, we've seen guys go in from Canada and make the transition, but when you look at quarterback play, man, if he gets used to throwing on a field with a 20-yard end zone or whatever, but go somewhere and play. Get reps. Go to Italy or one of those leagues. It doesn't. The kid just needs to play.
He needs to play. Look, I think somebody would find a spot for him in the UFL. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, and he would be welcome there. He needs reps, and I hope somebody is advising him. Look, Trey, you're not going to make it in the NFL. Nobody's calling from the NFL. Go play and get some reps, get that experience, and then look, as training camp rolls around, then maybe somebody, because you'll have some film, will give you a shot in training camp, give you a training camp invite. And but until then, look, he's just kind of wasting his time to think that, yeah, hey, I was drafted 3rd overall, I deserve a shot. Well, no, you don't, because you haven't done anything, and you need reps. Go get them.
Wade Phillips will join us coming up at 4:35. We'll talk some Brahmas and the UFL. And as far as the Cowboys, doesn't look like Trey Lance has a chance to come back to be QB2 for Dak Prescott. And there's one report coming out of Cleveland. I call BS on this, but we'll talk about it. Could Dak be on his way to Cleveland? Like, this is real.
Christmas in March.
Oh, stop. Stop. There's a lot of reasons why this is crap. We'll get into it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. Sam has his spring line on display right now. If you need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, a T-shirt, whatever you need, go see Sam, especially if you need T-shirts screen printed. On a day like today, maybe your business needs your logo on a raincoat. You know, Sam can do that as well. Whatever you need your logo on, go see Sam. You need caps done? Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Nobody has better prices, and Sam has all the big name brands. Only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too big, no order too small. Call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro. It is 1 mile inside Loop 410, right there across from the McDonald's and next to Big Lots. SamsEmbroidery.com is the website for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Rox Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit Rox Phoenix, discountvitamins.com.
These days, figuring out what, where, and how to watch TV is out of control. And so is the cost. That's why I'm psyched I found Philo. Live TV from A&E, Discovery, MTV, and all the channels I love. A huge library of movies and shows. And an unlimited DVR to save them. I also get AMC Plus and all their blockbuster hits. All this for just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Give it a try, risk-free at philo.tv.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. The San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for our home opener Sunday, April 27th at 2 when the Brahmas bring the Fiesta to the gridiron with our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas themed game. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Tickets on sale now at uflbrahmas.com. That's uflbrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful...
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Funny stuff.
Jacob, Eric, appreciate the tweet. This is funny.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Somebody, Jacob sent us a tweet where a local news story was out talking to customers at the new Publix grocery store that opened in Walton, Kentucky. And clearly clearly the producer or reporter had no idea that the dude they're interviewing gave a fake name. So on the banner, his fake name is right up there, and nobody caught it.
Well, it's Jack.
Yeah, it's scary. That's yeah.
I wasn't going to say it. I was going to spell it.
I don't even know if you could do that. Don't even.
His first name's Jack. Okay? You take it from there.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I mean, I got nothing. I mean, what producer, what person? Is this your name? Can I see your ID? You know, and
no, as a reporter, you never do that. You just ask for the name. But, I mean, I would think if somebody gave me that name, I'd be smart enough to go, all right, dude, what's your real name?
Yeah, are you in the witness protection or something?
No, he's trying to be funny.
Mr. Mehoff, we're not going to be able to air your name.
Mehoff. Mehoff. I don't know if you pronounce it that way, but
well. I'm trying to keep
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's it. You are in the Hall of Fame of TV bloopers, my friend.
Well, I mean, it happens, right? I mean, reporters get pranked like that all the time.
Well, and sometimes reporters are the ones doing the pranking, like the guy out of Cleveland today, a guy named Bruce Drennan. I don't know anything about Bruce. A friend of mine, though, that follows all Cleveland sports, lives up in Seguin, sent me this going, did you see this? Like, dude, there's no way this is real. But I'm like, dude, you're a radio guy. You're from Cleveland. What I mean, who is he? He's like, been in radio in Cleveland since the 80s. But apparently now he does a show once a week on Wednesdays on something called Big Play Sports Network. And this guy, Bruce Drennan, this is bold, although, this is bold.
Get ready for this one.
Okay.
I got a pretty darn good source within the Browns organization.
Is his name Jack?
I heard, since our last show, that part of the reason Myles Garrett was so willing to sign this extension for contract, money. The Browns are negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys for a trade for Dak Prescott. And Garrett got all giddy about it. Why, I don't know. We're not going anywhere with Prescott, even if they pull it off. Newsom's part of it, and draft picks. Now, Prescott has a hamstring injury as we speak, and he may not be ready for the start of training camp. But this comes from a couple of different sources.
A couple.
And take it for what it's worth. If it does come about, remember where you heard it first.
All right, well, this isn't coming about, Bruce.
He got his 15 minutes.
I mean, dude, and there's over 1 million views on that video. And everybody has picked it up, and everybody is trashing it because the obvious financial implications for both teams don't make any sense. None whatsoever. Now, by all accounts, and I don't know anything about Bruce Drennan, you know, my guy from Cleveland was like, I don't know, he's been around for a long time. Sean Sharif from 105.3 The Fan in Dallas says, 2 of my Cleveland guys say this dude isn't a troll out for clicks. But then again, even if you heard that from sources, before you go to air with that, don't you try to make it make sense? Because in his argument, he doesn't, or ever address, based on the clips that we saw, the fact that Dallas would take a 9-figure dead cap hit this year if they were to do this. $98 million in 26 and $61 million in 27. Never mind that Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause. He could waive it, but financially, when Dak signed his deal in September, we knew the Cowboys couldn't look at moving on from this guy for 3 years because of that.
Which is very sad. Not to mention the fact that Cleveland would be on the hook for a whole bunch of money with 2 quarterbacks.
$432 million just at the quarterback position.
ESPN Cleveland has come out and said the Browns have not had any trade talks for quarterback Dak Prescott, and there is no trade in the works, per Charles Robinson, ESPN Cleveland. So I don't know where this guy or who told him this. It must have been a prank like Mr. Mehoff telling him this that he trusted. But it look. Just, and again, I totally agree with you, Jason. I mean, you got to do some kind of research to see if this is even feasible, and it's not. All the people in Dallas were poo-pooing this as soon as it came out. You take a look at the numbers, and it's just not going to happen. So,
well, and again, I don't know Bruce Drennan. Just reading some of the comments on the Big Play Sports Network tweet when it first came out is like, dude, you haven't broken a story since 1966. But then again, as bizarre as that is, if Bruce is hearing this, now he said multiple sources. This is a guy that has been in the media business for a long time. He's, working in real media, doing things the right way by all accounts. So, I mean, I'm sure the first time he heard that, he probably acted like Shams when Shams got the intel on the Luka trade. Like, this can't be real. But this can't be real, just from a financial standpoint. If Cleveland did call Dallas, I mean, if they're trying to uncover every rock out there, sure. But it makes zero sense whatsoever. And by all accounts, all the Dallas media, including Jane Slater, because you do chase down everything, says nothing to it. No truth whatsoever.
And now you're getting reports out of Cleveland as well. Nothing to this. This guy caused a stir. He got his 15 minutes. A lot of people didn't know who he was until today. Now they do. So if that's why he did it, I have to believe the guy had somebody that he thought was credible telling him this. And it may even just been like, hey, we're having a slice of pizza and a beer in the Cleveland office one night. So it'd be nice to have Dak Prescott here. I don't know what the case was, but it just makes no sense financially. Makes absolutely no sense. And I'm not sure Dak would sign off on a trade like that anyway.
Oh, well, and especially with knowing that he's building that new place, right? He bulldozed his other house, and he's building a new one. But, that all said, I mean, for this guy to risk his reputation, because in our business, that's all you have when it comes to reporting.
Absolutely.
All you have is your reputation. Are you a trusted person? When you say something, are you generally right? That, if you're one of those, and I say it all the time, man, trust the reporters you're following. We talked about it a week ago with all the stuff about Micah Parsons. The ones that I trust kept saying there was nothing there. The ones that I don't trust or had not heard of that said a deal was close and it was going to be this, he still hasn't signed. The ones that you trusted, at least right now, they're right. I mean, last week we thought based on some reports it could get done.
Yep.
Last Thursday, Friday. It's still not done. Again, trusting so for this guy to do that, but also to say part of the reason why Myles Garrett signed, besides the money,
exactly,
was giddiness over the thought of getting Dak Prescott.
Well, which is baloney. He signed because of the money. They offered him a hell of a deal. That's why he signed. He's a Cleveland guy. That defense is still pretty good. If they did have a quarterback, it would be fantastic because I think Cleveland might be able to make some noise. They had the third-ranked defense in the league last year. So they just need some offense, and they need a quarterback that they can depend on. Now, again, I'm not sure Dak is that guy, and I don't say that because I think Dak is as injury-prone as maybe Deshaun is now. I mean, who knows, right? We'll have to wait and see. But they need a quarterback, and they just got stuck with a really bad deal. And whoever this guy's source was or source is, he needs to cut them loose because they just screwed him big time.
Well, again, if it happens, you heard it here first. Dude, yeah, if it happens, man, you'll get all the flowers in your sources better than everybody else's. But mathematically, there's just no way in hell this is going to happen. No way the Cowboys would take on that dead cap money. I mean,
it would paralyze them. It would paralyze even worse than they are now.
So you're saying it's not going to happen?
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
No. As much as, I would be happy.
I don't know.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know that you would.
I would be. I wanted the Cowboys needed to move on from Dak after last year and start over and rebuild this team and go from there. They didn't do it. Now they're stuck for the next three.
At the very least, the next three. At the very least, the next three. But you're going to see that on Twitter. Or you're going to see that on Facebook. I'll put my reputation on it. Ain't going to happen.
It ain't going to happen.
Ain't going to happen.
Yeah, or that's when we go with the white coats and grab Jerry Jones and put him in a padded room.
I mean, in Cleveland doesn't have enough to, make that interesting for the Dallas Cowboys. It's fun to talk about. If he would have done that in a what-if scenario and just, like, hey, this probably ain't going to happen, but what if? Then this time period where you can throw all the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. But that's not what this guy did. This guy is reporting based on his sources that this is happening. It ain't.
It ain't happening.
Not going to happen.
Nope.
Not going to happen. Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. They kick off their UFL season this Saturday against Arlington. We'll talk with Wade about that. Wednesdays with Wade coming up next here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Of course, tomorrow is opening day of Major League Baseball. You also have the Sweet 16 round of the tournament. So much going on. Make sure you're having more fun by playing the Pick'em game at Underdog. Baseball officially back. Make opening day and every day more exciting with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps where it is, something you can play in the state of Texas and where you could win up to 1,000 times your money, and you can with Underdog playing the Pick'em game, where you just have to choose higher or lower on player stats. Create your own entries using baseball. You can mix in some basketball, and you can play for as little as $1. Download the Underdog app. Sign up now using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code STAR. Claim your special offer today to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but, they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint.
Let's trade lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone. Any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames, because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster, which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
Jason Minix here. Let's talk about health as we age. It may feel like you're lacking energy or strength, always moody, or libido isn't what it used to be. Any of these could be caused by low testosterone. Go get tested at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Their patient-first VIP experience is fast and easy. I recommend Synergenics because their personalized therapy goes beyond standard treatments. They've been the go-to experts in TRT for over a decade. They also have affordable GLP-1 weight loss options. Get started at SynergenicsHealth.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. And it's all about having a great time. Grab your buddies and ladies too. And hit the course for a fun, laid-back day of golf, laughs, and a little friendly competition at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, April 14th. It's just $120 a player or $400 for a foursome. A solid deal for a day of good times with your crew. The Spring Golf Classic benefits the Pan American Golf Association. But don't worry, this isn't some high-stakes tournament. It's all about kicking back, having fun, and making memories. Presented by Flight by England and sponsored by Ancira.com and PBL Motorhomes. After you've crushed it on the course, join us at the Hangar Bar and Grill on Potranco for the ultimate after party. Cold drinks, great food, and good times with all of your buddies. So grab your spot, grab your crew, and tee off for a day of unforgettable fun. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. We are looking for Wade Phillips.
Yeah, that's what we've been told.
That's what we've been told. The video is set. We're ready to go. And we got a message. Wade disappeared on us. So when Wade reappears, we will kick off Wednesdays with Wade as they get set to kick off the 2025 season on the road against the Arlington Renegades.
Arlington Renegades. That sounds like it should be a rival game, right?
It is.
Arlington. Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially when you look at San Antonio and Dallas, all right, but with Wade, I think Houston is the bigger rival.
Yeah, Houston, you're right.
But this week, it's those Arlington types.
Hopefully they get off to a good start for the season. I'd like to see them start off well and get everybody excited and ready for a little Brahmas football.
Well, and you think about they had a huge fan event this weekend that had an incredible turnout. But they start with 4 games on the road. So build some excitement, get some wins, and when they have that first home game, the Alamo Dome is going to be rocking. It's just fun to have football in the spring. I mean, we are so football crazy. And I think about all the different spring leagues and some of their different rules, and you look at the NFL and some of the rule changes that they're looking at. A lot of them we've seen successfully used in these spring leagues, which is great, not only for players, but for the NFL to say, you know what, we can make that happen too. That's more efficient.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you see, the kickoff rule, for example. I mean, there's a lot of things that are that are going on. Do you see they're changing that again, the kickoff rule? So instead of a touchback coming to the 30, it's going to be the 35?
Yep.
I don't know if that's good or not. I guess it encourages kickers not to kick it through the end zone. I guess that's one good thing about it. Hopefully that's the case. But, the Spring League has been good in response to that. And I'm glad the NFL is willing to bend a little bit when it comes to some of these rule changes.
And I think, is he ready to go? Oh, we're not yet. Not yet. We're working on that. There's all kinds of behind the scenes. We've got a bit of an audible. Wednesdays with Wade is going to feature QB1 Kellen Mond.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think Kellen might be ready to go. Sliding in to pick up the slack for the head coach, Kellen Mond, QB1 of the San Antonio Brahmas, joining us here on the Blitz, filling in on Wednesdays with Wade. Kellen, we talked to you a couple of weeks ago as training camp was getting underway, and you told us then you were trying to go earn that job. You did. What was the quarterback battle like for you?
Before I answer that, I want to say welcome to Wednesdays with Kellen. I know, but honestly, it's amazing, and I think that was kind of my primary goal here. One of the first things I talked to Mark Lillibridge about was, if I get the opportunity, if I play the best, are you going to make me the starter? And sometimes when you get into the NFL, you kind of deal with guys being paid more than you, or maybe draft picks, and so everyone's kind of on a clean slate, and I just wanted a fair opportunity here. And, I played really well week 1, played really well week 2, and only got better into week 3. And, me and the receivers and, everyone we were clicking on all cylinders. And, again, today, we had another phenomenal day of practice, so we're only going to get better.
Kellen, that brings up a good point. When you get in there, I'm assuming you're throwing to a bunch of guys that you've never thrown to before, playing with some guys you haven't seen or had any affiliation with. How difficult is that to get used to those guys? Is it a hard thing to do?
It's definitely hard, but I think we have a lot of fast learners. We have a lot of guys who have either experience in this offense or they've experienced other NFL offenses. And you get a lot of reps, and you correct those mistakes, and then you find ways to move on. So a lot of the stuff in our game plan we've hit really hard. We practice, and I think we had maybe 2 balls on the ground today as an offense. Throwing the ball really accurate, guys making a lot of great catches, a lot of great reads. So all of us are doing a great job of being on the same page, and we'll be ready to go Saturday.
Kellen Mond joining us here on the Blitz, filling in for Wade Phillips on Wednesdays with Wade. Now, Kellen, I think about, and we've talked about this league is great for a guy like you because you get to go play and you get those game reps. Now, things are a little different in the UFL than what you experienced with the NFL or even at Texas A&M in college, because there's so much media involved in the communication. How do you practice what the games are like? Have you watched other old game tapes from the UFL, say like a year ago, just as the quarterback to get used to that?
Honestly, it's not too much of an adjustment. Certain things we practice, and, a lot of guys get, headsets so they hear the plays. And so, it's a small adjustment, but not enough to, I guess, be difficult or anything. I get, as long as I get to play in my helmet, other guys are on the same exact page. And, even if we have to do maybe a little bit of over communication, obviously everyone's mic'd up, so other teams in the future hear the plays, which is somewhat of a bit different. But at the end of the day, as long as I get the play call, offensive line gets it, running backs and offense, we'll be all on the same page.
Kellen, let me ask you, you've been in the NFL, you've seen the talent in the NFL, now you're in the UFL, you've seen the talent there. We always talk a lot about that there's not a lot of difference in the two. Do you find that to be the case?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a fair assessment. I think there's going to be a lot of guys who are maybe backups in the NFL, and in 2 years they'll be trying to get opportunities in the UFL, trying to, work their way back up into the NFL, the big league. So, so much of the league is based on, the situation you're in, the opportunity you have, timing, and even sometimes luck. And if you can put yourself in the best position by, your work ethic and, you know, you're disciplined to be ready for when your opportunity comes. That's all you can ask for. And then you kind of just got to let the cards play out. And so, you know, all of us are, you know, real excited about the opportunity. I do think we have a lot of NFL talent, and I feel like that's one of the reasons we've been able to grasp. And you see it on the defensive side of the ball too, the way they cover, the way they swarm to the ball. It's only made us as an offense better.
Kellen Mond joining us here on the Blitz. Game 1 Saturday. We talked with Wade Phillips last week, and after you were announced as the starter, he said one of the reasons you won that job is the ability to run, adding that dynamic to this Brahmas offense. Without giving away the game plan, how much running do you expect to do by design, or is it just part of if a read isn't there, you can take off and go?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it's part of a read, maybe a zone read. We'll have certain things in the game plan, but I think a lot of it is being able to make the right reads whenever you're throwing the ball down the field, and then if something's not there, being able to take off. And sometimes a +1 yard gain is better than a -2. You know, 2nd and 12 is a lot different than 2nd and 9. So I think that's really the big thing. You know, I've had, you know, maybe one big time run, you know, maybe every day or each every other day. And, you know, but I think it's definitely the explosive. You know, I feel really good. I'm running extremely well right now. So, I definitely look forward to showing my legs off.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you too, Kellen, because, I mean, you've got such a good arm and a good pocket presence. The running, does that come second nature? I mean, is it just an escapability for you that you know you can buy some time if you need to just by moving around a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the pocket presence. You know, there's a lot of guys who may not be extremely athletic or something in the NFL, but, you know, if you have great pocket presence, you know, you have a good feel for the pocket, where you're getting pressure, and just if you can make sudden movements in the pocket to give you some a quarter of a second time more to throw, then that's a huge plus for a quarterback. So, you know, I definitely think I have that, and then still being able to run and get on the edge. You know, I used to run track back in the day, so I was running Texas track, you know, running the 400 back in the day. So I've always been fast, you know, and it's been somewhat of a critique of mine since I've been in the NFL. But sometimes just based on the offense that you're in, a lot of the West Coast offenses I've been in, you're not running zone reads. It's just not necessarily a part of, you know, it's about getting your backs, you know, running wide zone in certain runs. So, you know, being in a different offensive system has allowed me to kind of express that, you know, that type of running ability and be explosive.
Kellen Mond here on the Blitz. As you're talking about that, and I think about some of the NFL offenses versus when I used to watch you over at Reagan High School. Does this offense feel a little bit more like back in the high school days?
I don't even remember my high school days back in the day. I remember a little bit of IMG Academy and, you know, some of the stuff we were running with Kevin Sumlin, but you know, it's definitely different from NFL systems. You know, one of the main things is usually a lot of times in the NFL, you have a lot of plays, you know exactly where guys are going to be. There's not a lot of necessarily reading for the receiver. And that's kind of how a lot of NFL offenses operate. And then over here, it's more focused on, you know, maybe having more of a concise game plan, maybe lesser plays, but within every play, truthfully, it can look like 10, based on a combination, it could look like 10, 15 different things. And so that's why I think the reps were so important to get with a lot of these receivers, be able to read their body language. And I think that's the biggest thing I've told the guys is, if you can express great body language, I'll be able to read you, and I'll be able to throw accurately. And if you can't, then, you know, we're never going to be on the same page. And so we have a lot of guys who have a lot of experience in this offense, or maybe advanced offenses, who have done a really good job. And, you know, like I said, we've been able to connect really well.
All right, Kellen, I know the answer to this question, I think, before I ask it, knowing the competitor that you are, but how geeked up are you, man, that you actually have a real football game to play this Saturday?
I mean, it's the best feeling in the world. I think, you know, I've kind of expressed to a lot of people that I haven't played a full game of football since 2020, my last year when we were number 4 team in the country, you know, playing in the Orange Bowl against North Carolina. So, you know, a lot of times in the NFL, you don't really get those situations. You don't get to finish a half, finish a game, and have to go win games or sustain drives is a little bit different. But being able to do that 4 to 5 years later, it's a blessing, and I really can't wait.
So is obviously excitement, but nervous a little bit about Saturday?
Nah, honestly, no. I mean, I played in front of 100,000 people. I played in 7 overtime games against LSU and scored 74 points. You've kind of been a part of some of the biggest stuff, and I think, I don't think there'll be any nerves. I think maybe just pure excitement and joy to get out there. And a lot of times with quarterbacking and as an offense, it's about figuring out kind of like solving puzzle pieces and figure out what the defense is in, like what's their game plan. And, I think that's kind of more of the exciting part of it. But at the end of the day, just go out, execute, and trust your guys to get open and play with confidence.
Kellen, you make a great point there, and I don't think people understand the value of you playing there at Kyle Field in front of 100,000 people and the pressure, that just playing around those people brings, but the learning part of that as well, I would think, is invaluable.
Absolutely, and I think kind of in the trajectory of where my college career went, it started off extremely rocky, and a lot of people weren't the biggest fans of me at A&M, and it took a long time to kind of earn that trust back from the A&M fan base and even outsiders. But I had one of my best years finishing off in Kyle Field, and we ended up number 4 team in the country. And that year I played with a lot of confidence, a lot of trust, made plays, and Jimbo kind of that year gave me the keys to the car and said, this is your team, and it felt different than in years past. And so that's what I kind of feel now. I think it's your team. You have the keys to the car. AJ says all the time, the quarterback can see the field better than anyone. So if it's something you see and you check a play, check it with confidence, and as long as it falls within the kind of the criteria and how we're trying to execute as an offense, go roll with it. And we have the talent to do that. I think we have phenomenal backs, and we have a lot of talent. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Kellen Mond here on the Blitz, QB1 of the San Antonio Brahmas. Confident, the maturity level, the difference in where you are versus, maybe a couple of years ago. When you think about your receivers, you mentioned your backs a couple of times. Of the receivers you're working with, who do you have the best, if this is a fair question for you, the best connection with right now? So when we're watching the game on Saturday, who do you think is your go-to guy, your security blanket, if you will?
I mean, so much of it is dependent on what play we're running, and I think based on the way this offense works is, like I said, it's you have a lot of options a lot of times as a receiver depending on the play that's called. And so based on coverage, it can be thrown to anyone. And I think we have a lot of great pieces. Justin Smith has experience in this offense. John Trey has experience in this offense. And then we add, Greg Ward, Jacob Harris is outside. And, a lot of these guys are rolling, and they're now that we have over 15 to 16 practices together, we're hitting on all cylinders. And so, like I said, week 1, we're, kind of learning. Week 2 was really good, and then week 3, I felt like we kind of exploded, and it's like, oh, this could be a really, really good offense. This could be a great team. And so, the defense has made us extremely good, giving us phenomenal looks. And when you go into a game and knowing that you play the best defense in practice, sometimes it could feel like, oh, wow, this is a bit easier. So, hopefully that happens this week. There's going to be certain things that the opposing team throws at us that, that maybe that we haven't seen, but, we have to make adjustments and, still go play with confidence and react.
Well, Kellen, we know you can handle audibles, my friend, because you did it today flawlessly. Are you worried about your head coach, though? I'm a little worried about Wade. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's good. I wanted to make sure it was Wednesdays with Kellen before it's Wednesdays with Wade. Wade is amazing.
We could come up with Mondays with Mond. I mean, there. See, now, Kellen, I'm
a little post game review.
Absolutely.
Now, we like to have fun on this show, as you know, and we thought maybe Wade heard something we were talking about earlier. See, our producer, James Pledger, started a conversation with us earlier and said You know, this morning in the shower, I was thinking about Wade Phillips, and I didn't hear anything after that. Have you ever thought about Wade Phillips while you were in the shower?
No, but maybe that's why. Maybe he did boycott the show, and maybe there's no more Wednesdays with Wade. I'm not sure if Wade wanted to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know that I wanted to hear that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was just an odd thing. I'm getting texted. I think Wade is, whatever he's doing, he wants to come on at 5:30. So do we want to do that? We've just got to track him down. He might be back on in an hour if he gets lost again. He disappeared in the building. Yeah. Does he do that a lot?
No, he doesn't. I mean, you see him, Mark Lillibridge comes up and talk. Wade will talk for 10 minutes in the morning and talk to us at practice. But, I do think one of the great things is, Wade doesn't necessarily have to be that up in front and talking and making sure. I think we have a lot of great leaders on the team, a lot of vocal guys, a lot of guys talking, mess to the other team, a lot of I was going to say a bad word, but yeah, talking mess to the other side. And so it's a lot of competitive nature, and I think we have a lot of mature, really disciplined and, really hardworking players. And he kind of allowed us to take the reins of the team, and the best leaders on the best teams are usually coming from the players. So I think that's something that Wade notices, and so it's no surprise that they had one of the best teams in the league last year, and I look forward to being that component to hopefully get us over that hump.
Well, good luck to you, Kellen, throughout the year, especially Saturday to start things off, man. I hope you have a great season. We really do.
Awesome. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you. Kellen Mond, quarterback one of the San Antonio Brahmas, running the scramble drill to perfection.
Yes.
And
perfect.
I am told, I'll just read the, can we do it later? We'll do that, 5:35. I will keep eyes on him. So we won't let Wade get lost. We'll work on getting Wade Phillips coming up at about 5:35. But what a great job of, they can't find the coach, but here's quarterback one.
Yeah, that's not a bad trade-off. Not a bad trade-off at all. And Wade's got big shoes to fill after Kellen was on. So we're going to have to hold him to a high standard at 5:30.
We always do. We always do. So much going on today. Good stuff with Kellen Mond again. The Brahmas and the Renegades, Saturday afternoon. Kellen Mond and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond.
This time of year, and we've been hearing about it all day, Jason and I, the rain that's going on, the thunderstorms that are popping up all over the city. And, well, in the forecast, looks like the next couple of days that's going to be the case as well. And it's so important when you live in central South Texas like we do, and we have the spring storms, that you have a reliable roofer you can trust. Stevens Roofing is my go-to, family-owned company, locally based company, and they're the best in the business. And you need to keep them in mind because you never know what Mother Nature has to throw at us, right? If you get some hail and it damages your roof, you want to get that taken care of. Some wind that might damage your roof, you want to get that taken care of. You certainly don't want to go with somebody that just knocks at your door saying, hey, we're here, we're in the neighborhood, we want to check your roof out, we'll give you a heck of a deal. You don't want to do that. You want to go with somebody that's proven, somebody that is trusted, and that is Stevens Roofing. I tell you what, if you think you've sustained some damage, or you get to this weekend when the storms are over and you think you sustained some damage, call Stevens Roofing. You can do that at 210-785-0994. In fact, they'll send a team out with a no-obligation roof inspection for you to check out to make sure that everything is okay. If they see a problem, they'll let you know, and they'll let you know how they can fix it. Look, if they see that there's nothing wrong, they're going to let you know that as well and let you know that your roof is in great shape. Peace of mind that everybody needs. But don't fall for the fly-by-night roofers. You want somebody that is competent, somebody that's been in business for a long time, and somebody that's not going anywhere. That defines Stevens Roofing. Keep their number in mind, 210-785-0994. They're going to give you that peace of mind when the storms come rolling in. The phone number again, 210-785-0994.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. Divorce is tough. It's emotional, challenging, and can upend everything you've worked hard for. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control and protect your financial future. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about protecting what you've built, securing your assets, and ensuring you have the resources to move forward with confidence. You've worked hard for everything you have, and we're here to help safeguard it and avoid unnecessary losses. If you're serious about protecting yourself through the divorce process and securing your future, Barton & Associates is the team you need by your side. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. Don't miss the 2025 State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. Witness the nation's top dunkers and sharpshooters battle it out live in person. One epic night of unbelievable skill and electrifying energy. Thursday, April 3rd at the Frost Bank Center. Tickets are going fast. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. See you April 3rd for the State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. One night, pure action. Don't miss it.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Spurs had their 3-game win streak snapped last night in Detroit. The Pistons win 122-96. Spurs are in Cleveland tomorrow for a matchup with the Cavaliers. Former Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs headed to the New England Patriots, reportedly signing a 3-year, $69 million deal. And J.J. Watt is going to be an analyst for CBS for the NFL, teaming up with veteran announcer Ian Eagle.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on this Wednesday afternoon.
Little hump day action.
Yes, sir.
Hump day? Yeah.
Yeah, it's your favorite part. Yeah. Yep.
Happy hump day, everybody, especially if you're getting off work. I don't know what the weather is outside, but I know we've had some reports of rain and stuff, but if you're dealing with that, then be careful.
Well, and you look at, like, by all accounts, storms are bad all over, although I don't think it started raining here yet at the radio station, although we don't have a window here, and it's been an hour since I've been down the hall, so I have no idea. But we know the weather's supposed to be bad tonight, but hopefully it clears up in the next 3 hours because we get on a plane to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, we just need a little nice window to get out on, and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
You can fly in rain.
Well, sure,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to be in a metal tube, but as long as it takes off, that's all I care about.
Exactly. No delays, Pledge. That's what we're talking about.
I mean, thunderstorms, they might delay things. Hail, I don't know. Do planes get hail damage?
Well, I wouldn't want to take off in a hailstorm.
Why?
It sound like a...
I don't care what it sounds like.
Dude.
Get me above the clouds.
No, I'm not doing that.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Now, it says, according to my handy little weather app
here we go.
It says thunderstorms at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
Yep.
And then just plain old rain after that. So if that pans out, I'm good with it.
As long as it's not too turbulent to where they don't serve drinks.
Well, there's that. Now, once you get above, I plan to have a little foundation built before I get on the plane, if you know what I mean.
You better be careful because if they tell you can't get up and you got to pee, what are you going to do?
Dude, I don't know. I better bring a water bottle.
Oh, good Lord.
I'll just get naked and start screaming, and maybe that'll work. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want them to do anything to turn that plane around.
No, I'll be just fine. But I'll have a little foundation before I get on the plane, and it'll be okay. Once we get above the clouds, everything will be fine.
Sure.
No problem.
Just get me above the clouds.
That's it. That's all it takes.
Land in Vegas. Stay tuned to the socials. Pledge, you staying up late to post all the video we'll be sending your way? He says that now.
Hey, well, come on.
What do we land at? 11 o'clock our time, give or take?
Take
off at 9, leave at 9.
Yeah,
right?
roughly, yeah.
So we'll be good. Then you'll start seeing videos because we'll send them to Pledge and he'll post them. Because we don't know how. We don't have access.
We don't have access. That's it, right?
Yep. At Joe Reinagel 2-0, at Jason Minix, at SA Sports Star on Instagrams and Twitters, all that good stuff.
Absolutely, and get by YouTube tomorrow as well because some great video, great scenery we'll be able to show you.
Like Derek. The hell was that?
Exactly.
Like Derek Stevens?
Well, sure.
I mean, Derek Stevens, the owner of Circa Las Vegas, will be on with us tomorrow, 3 o'clock San Antonio time.
And that'll be fun.
Always is.
Oh, yeah. So, it's not every day you get to interview a billionaire.
That's true. That is true. And there's rich people, and then there's Derek Stevens, who's rich and fun. I mean, that dude, like the idea of Cirque, and I'm sure talk about it tomorrow. He had a dream of what a sports book should look like.
Yep.
And what the resort should look like. And he built that based off what he thought should be there because there are some decent good sports books in Vegas, but none are massive like what he's built. And then he went to all the different pools and I like this, I like that, I don't like this is what we're going to create.
Well, he said you can't go swimming and watch the games. That was his deal, right? So every other resort you can go swimming, they're nice pools, but no TVs out there.
Yeah.
So he fixed that.
Yeah. And the water's always perfect, and the drinks are always flowing. It's just a blast. But to meet a guy that had an idea and built it is freaking awesome.
It really is.
Just from the business standpoint. Plus, he's just a lot of fun to talk to. So Derek Stevens tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I imagine interviewing LeBron James is fun. Pat McAfee got to do that. Although, the Lakers, they're playing in Indianapolis tonight. They've got the Pacers. In fact, you can listen to that game coming up at 6 o'clock here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So with LeBron in Indy, he went by McAfee's studio, and I guess probably late yesterday. I know it was taped in over an hour, but LeBron had no problem taking some shots at media. A couple of different things that he talked about were interesting, but what he said about his what I thought was his really good friend Brian Windhorst. Maybe at one time they were really good friends.
I see a lot of too. Like I seen Brian Windhorst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like
Wendy.
Yeah, you played over high school.
Wendy, you guys played together in high school.
Yeah, this guy was like, says he's like my best friend. These guys are just weird.
Wow. Boy, Wendy just got kicked in the package.
Windhorst made his bones being tight with LeBron.
Oh, that's what he told us.
I mean, there was a time where he had all the access in the world to LeBron James. Now, when that went south, but apparently it has. I don't know. Because there was a time where wherever LeBron was living, although Windhorst has developed into an overall NBA guy and maybe some sort of falling out with LeBron or denied access to LeBron is one of the reasons why. But, Brian Windhorst, his entire career is thanks to LeBron James. Now, Stephen A. Smith has had his recent encounter with LeBron. It goes viral when LeBron confronted Stephen A. sitting courtside at a Lakers game. And we've heard Stephen A. over and over tell the story. I love that LeBron says, dude is like on a Taylor Swift tour talking about this.
You and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing it as well.
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, one viral. What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you can address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, and like another, he completely missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the freezer and sit in his chair and his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax. Like, seriously.
Wow. I don't know what Stephen A. said that was personal. I'm not sure. I'll trust LeBron that he did. But I'm happy to hear LeBron say that about anybody, much less his own son. I mean, it is our job to be critical and to point things out and to have opinions on things. And so I'm happy to hear him say that. That's a good thing. But it doesn't matter. I mean, Bronny's made it. 39 points in the G League.
Stop.
That guy is there.
Bronny has earned it.
I'm telling you, that's all I hear now. You better change your mind about Bronny. 39 points.
The big news that LeBron did make there with McAfee is he's bringing his podcast back with Steve Nash as the host.
Which sounds kind of weird, right? Unless Steve Nash is looking for a coaching gig.
Well, that's
Seemed
one
to
way
work
to get
for
it.
J.J. Redick, right?
Exactly. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Countdown is on for the Final Four next weekend here in San Antonio. Don't miss the NCAA Men's Final Four Fan Fest presented by Capital One, a sports wonderland with interactive games, giveaways, celebrity appearances, and so much more. Enjoy Team Open practices at the Reese's Final Four Friday. Rock out to the March Madness Music Festival featuring Pitbull, Jelly Roll, and Chris Stapleton. And you can also tune into the men's and women's basketball watch parties at the tip-off tailgate. We can save you money. We've got FanFest tickets 50% off with code AlphaMedia25 if you go to ncaa.com/events. 50% off with AlphaMedia25. We got a pair of tickets we'll give away free right now. To caller number 9, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
Hey, let me tell you about my Kinetico Quality Water Softener. I want to brag a little bit because I love this thing. You get up in the morning, you take a shower, you feel clean. You put on the clothes that were washed in the Kinetico Quality Water Softened water. Well, they feel cleaner. So your dishes coming out of the dishwasher, and then you have the peace of mind knowing that your pipes aren't being damaged by all the hard water we have in San Antonio and South Texas. I love my Kinetico Quality Water Softener. If you don't have one, you need to get one because you will love it as well. Look, Kinetico's been serving San Antonio and Central Texas for over 50 years. They're made in America. All their products are. And one thing I love about it is they don't run on electricity, so you don't plug it in. So there's not all those problems that you have with some of the motherboards and the circuits and all that kind of stuff. But it does provide soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It works when you need it to work. And right now, the fine folks at Kinetico are sweetening the pot a little bit. For a limited time, when you buy a Kinetico Quality Water Softener, you're going to get a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they will install right there at your kitchen sink. $400 off your trade-in of your old water softener. And how about some free money? 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. It is one heck of a deal, and you know deals like that are not going to last long. So call Kinetico of San Antonio and the Hill Country. The number to call is 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at KineticoSA.com. You know the jingle, sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Kinetico.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is heading to Vegas, and you're coming with us. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas for Mega March, March 27th through the 30th. Catch baseball's opening day and all the hoops action at the world's largest sports book. Then take the party to Stadium Swing with 6 pools and a massive 143-foot screen. Book now at CircaLasVegas.com with promo code BLITZ and join us at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, sun, spirits, and a sure bet for an unforgettable time.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B. You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Imagine owning waterfront property on the Texas coast. Check out the grand opening this Saturday of Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point, located on the highly sought-after Matagorda Bay. Secure your spot to see 1 to 3 acre properties, all with bay access from $49.9. That's right, just $49.9. This gated waterfront community features panoramic views, world-class fishing, a pool and cabana, boat launch and slips, fishing pier, dog park, storage, and more. It all happens this Saturday, 1 day only. Coastal waterfront property starting at an unbelievable $49.9. Yes, just $49.9. Call now to secure your private tour this Saturday. 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Appointments are limited, so call now and be sure to ask for event day specials and our helicopter tours. Call now, 210-853-0389. Get your piece of this coastal paradise. 210-853-0389.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been, because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this: the insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox, the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the InBody 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit roxdiscountvitamins.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
I'm A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. Your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. Make sure you get signed up for our Spring Golf Classic, April 14th, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. We're going to play out the Golf Club of Texas. It benefits the Pan American Golf Association. We are damn near sold out, but we're not there yet, so get your team signed up and get us over the finish line. sasportstar.com. You know, Russell Wilson signed yesterday with the Giants and everything. All right, well, Pittsburgh, that's going to be the landing spot for one Aaron Rodgers. Also felt like J.J. McCarthy, who was on Kay Adams, at some golf tournament that a bunch of dudes are at, said, well, the Vikings haven't told me anything, and I'm okay with that. I want to go earn it. Great answer, right? Well, the Vikings general manager talking today said, don't rule out Aaron Rodgers coming here. In fact, Rodgers and Coach Kevin O'Connell has had, quote, a lot of conversations.
Well, I mean, if I'm J.J. McCarthy, I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, they bring me back, and I'm going to compete for the job. Are they going to let me compete for the job now if Aaron Rodgers comes in? Because you know damn good and well they're not. So what does that say about J.J. McCarthy? If they bring in Aaron Rodgers, to me, they just don't have a lot of faith in McCarthy.
You know, I could look at it two ways. McCarthy was playing better than Sam Darnold last training camp, but he got hurt. If they think they've got a team that can compete for a title, but there's doubt on McCarthy because they don't know, then maybe you look at Aaron Rodgers. Now, right now, it doesn't feel like they're going to go in that direction. But the Vikings general manager did not rule out eventually circling back to Aaron Rodgers. Quote, for me to sit here and say that anything's 100% forever, that's just not the job. We're responding to scenarios and different information as it comes. Obviously, things can change. Right now, we're really happy with our quarterback room, and we're going to look to upgrade in different ways. But
so you bring in Aaron Rodgers and the virus that he carries, and they just do that. That'd be fantastic, Minnesota. That's dumb in my mind. Look, if J.J. McCarthy's healthy, you drafted him for a reason.
Yep.
You got to go with him. You bring in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not going to compete for that job. He's going to expect to be the starting quarterback. So there will be no competition there. And I don't know if you've watched Aaron Rodgers the last 4 years. The guy hasn't played all that great. I don't know. It baffles me that everybody thinks, well, Aaron Rodgers will bring him in. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. No. The guy has lost it. He doesn't play the way that he did. And I don't understand all the hoopla for this guy. I just don't.
I totally disagree on the level of play. Late last year, Aaron Rodgers played good football. You know, we saw 4 snaps.
Define good football.
Well, just look at his numbers. I mean, a lot of touchdowns, not a lot of interceptions. They didn't win a lot of games. They didn't have a good team, and they had a piss-poor offensive line. So I look at Aaron Rodgers after the Achilles. It took him a while to find rhythm, but he found rhythm. My problem isn't with what I think Aaron Rodgers can still do on the field. Now, is he the level he was 5-8 years ago? No. But is he still better than a lot of guys out there? Yes. It's the other stuff that I would be more concerned with when it comes to bringing Aaron Rodgers into the building. Now, Pittsburgh, it's not like they've got a quarterback in waiting. But we did see Aaron Rodgers tutor Zach Wilson pretty well before they moved on from Zach Wilson with the New York Jets. He was a better teacher in teammates, seemingly, especially with what we saw on Hard Knocks. And if you listen to what Zach has said about him, than what a lot of us thought he would be. So would he be good for a guy like J.J. McCarthy as opposed to being the cancer that we expect him to be? It's all the other stuff that you worry about, and that's perception. Who knows what the guy is really like in the building, although it's pretty obvious he destroyed a lot of things within that New York Jets organization, and everybody involved with bringing him in got fired.
Well, he did the same thing at the end of his career in Green Bay. Same thing. I just don't – I don't understand the hoopla. Even if you say he can play, look, I wouldn't take him, and I think you're going to ruin J.J. McCarthy if you do that. Now, it's time for McCarthy to go. You thought highly of him. Now let's see what he can do. So you bring in Aaron Rodgers for a year. What is that going to do you? Is Minnesota a quarterback away from getting to where they need to be? I don't know. Is Aaron Rodgers the quarterback that's going to lead you there? I don't know that either. I have doubts. I'm not one of these guys that's going to say, you bring in Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh's a Super Bowl champion. The Minnesota Vikings are a Super Bowl champion. I just don't think he has that anymore. I just don't. And I just think it would be it's more of a gamble to bring him in than it is to leave him alone.
I look at the Pittsburgh situation versus Minnesota. I think he's still a better fit in Pittsburgh because they don't have the quarterback in waiting, and he will give them a better chance than anybody else that's available out there. Does that put him in the Super Bowl? It gives him a chance. Do I think he's that, can he make that kind of a difference? Your level of play, quarterback IQ, adjusting of his game, all of that. It's the BS that comes along with Aaron Rodgers, and I just think like a Mike Tomlin can handle that. I look at the Minnesota Vikings, and Kevin O'Connell seems like he's the guy, but I don't, Aaron Rodgers, you got that big of a personality, are you going to be able to coach that up? I think Mike Tomlin can. I don't know about Kevin O'Connell, but Kevin O'Connell's had a lot of success in being the offensive whiz that he is. And maybe we'll ask Wade Phillips coming up since his son, Coach Wade Phillips' son, is the offensive coordinator there. Although I think Wade would be very careful with any kind of answer that goes there. But what that room is like, or what it's like when you bring in a big personality like that, especially when you know it's short term.
I'm not sure Aaron wants to go to Pittsburgh. The longer this, or why hasn't he signed or reached an? I'm not sure he wants to go there, and I'm not sure Pittsburgh is all that equipped to make a long playoff run. To be totally honest with you, I don't know, but I get the feeling Rodgers doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh. I think he wants to go to Minnesota. That's where he wants to end up, and so. That's why he and O'Connell are talking, and he's trying to persuade them to sign him there.
Well, if I'm Aaron Rodgers trying to win a Super Bowl on my way out, I would much rather be in the NFC than in the AFC. And so while he might like Pittsburgh and might be open to going to Pittsburgh, the road to get to the Super Bowl in the AFC is a lot more crowded than the road to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Very true. Very true.
Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas.
Just go away.
I think he's a bum.
He's going to join us next. Not Rodgers.
Not
Wade.
Wade. No,
Son
Wade.
of bum. Different one.
Yes.
Son of bum. But bums are involved. That sounded weird.
Yeah, it did. It's all right, though. You tried.
Wade Phillips, maybe. Coming up here on The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you are having any issues at the house with your plumbing or your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are full service. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quartermoon, they do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. As for your AC, if you're having issues, call Quartermoon. If you're not, prevent issues. Make sure your AC is tuned up and ready to go. They don't do a lot of specials over there at Quartermoon, but they do have a pre-summer AC inspection special for just $58.99. They'll come out and inspect your capacitor, indoor coil, outdoor coil, filter inspection, and they'll check all your proper temperature levels. So call Quartermoon and get that scheduled. 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Huddle, the March Madness continues. Sweet 16 tipping off.
Lots of great basketball. Spurs are still busy. Is there ever going to be an Aaron Rodgers signing? And Micah Parsons would rather tweet than smoke weed. We'll talk about it. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Does this sound like your marriage? Wake up and realize that there's a better life waiting. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. At Barton & Associates, we specialize in navigating the complexities of divorce law, protecting your best interests, and ensuring you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but here's the thing. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control of the process and secure your future. If you're serious about protecting yourself and securing your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team you need. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. If you're tired of this, then start your better life today with Barton & Associates. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business?
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
It's Truck Month at North Park Chevrolet in Castroville. Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on 2025 Silverado 1500s and $10,000 off MSRP on Silverado heavy duties. Buy a new 2025 Equinox posted at $24,999 or $40,999 for a new Traverse. Plus 2 years of no charge oil change changes and car washes. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet, 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville, or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. The San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for our home opener Sunday, April 27th at 2 when the Brahmas bring the Fiesta to the gridiron with our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas themed game. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Tickets on sale now at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience, rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Ready for the ultimate sports fan getaway? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is headed to Vegas, and we're bringing you along. Why? Because watching the games from your couch in sweatpants just isn't the same. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for a Mega March weekend you'll never forget or possibly remember. We're talking Vegas here. March 27th through the 30th, we're hitting up Circa Las Vegas for opening day. And the second weekend of the tournament, a.k.a. Sports Heaven, baby. Thursday, March 27th, the party starts with baseball's opening day at the world's largest sports book. That's right, big screens, big games, and big opinions from Jason and Joe. It's basically like watching sports at home, but with no chores and way more pools. Speaking of pools, dive into 6 of them at Stadium Swim and catch all the action on a 143-foot screen. Lock in now. Go to CircaLasVegas.com. Use promo code BLITZ and party with Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, pools, Vegas. What could possibly go wrong? It's Wednesdays with Wade. San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips joins the Blitz every Wednesday for an inside look at your San Antonio Brahmas. Now, here's the Blitz with Wade Phillips.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Wednesdays with Wade. Coach Wade Phillips joining us now on the Buyers Barricades at guest line. How's your Wednesday, Coach?
Good. I'm sorry I'm late on this thing, but I had some work to do. I know you guys don't know anything about that, but...
Well, I'm just curious, Coach. What is the punishment when you're late to a meeting?
Yeah, well, when the head coach is late, it's no problem.
Great answer. That's a great answer. Well, Coach, it's finally here. It's game week. All the hard work you guys have been putting in, you finally get to show it off on Saturday. You guys ready to go?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we practice against each other enough. We're ready to and play a ball game. Practice is practice, but that's why we're here, is play ball game, play the games, and that's where the players have fun, and it's an exciting time for us.
When you think about first games are always tough because all the different changes, but I look at Arlington, Luis Perez back as their quarterback, and, you know, as talented as he is, from a defensive mind like yours, does that make it easier since you've played against Luis so many times?
No, I mean, he led the league in passing last year, and the year before he won the championship in the XFL. So he's just tough to play against. I really like Luis as a person. He's a great guy. We're going to try to keep him from scoring touchdowns on us. But he's a talented guy in this league that shows what he can do. He's a great pocket passer. He's not a scrambler, but he is a pocket passer that I think he had one of the highest passing percentages last year, and he led the league in passing. So he's tough to play against.
Well, Coach, we were fortunate enough to be able to talk to your quarterback, Kellen Mond, a few minutes ago, and great audible, by the way. Stepped in for you very, very nicely. But he says that he's really developed a good relationship with the wide receivers over the last 3 weeks. Have you noticed that?
I have, yeah. I mean, basically, a lot of times you have a lot of new players in this league, and so you're almost starting over as a team and melding together and everybody knowing what the other person can do and how they can help each other. So, yeah, I think he's coming along real well there with the receivers we have.
When we talked to you last week when you announced him as your starter, you talked about his ability to run and his maturity level. When you watch him play, knowing what he did at A&M, been in a couple of different systems in the NFL, does he just have that look to him? He seemed to have that presence today versus like when we talked to him at the beginning of camp.
Yeah, he's a natural, what I call a natural. I mean, he can throw the ball really well, and then if it's not there, he can run with it really well, and then you have designed running plays that help your running game overall. We've got really good backs and we had a really good running game with the same two backs we have last year. So he just adds another dimension there.
Coach, when you look at your team, and obviously these guys, a lot of them are trying to get the reps, get better, and get back into the NFL or get to the NFL. When you look at your roster and your team, and without obviously naming names, are there guys that you see that have that NFL talent that probably will be back in the league and versus some that maybe not?
Yeah, I mean, and not all of them are playing to get back in the NFL. Some of them just want to keep playing football because they love football, which those are kind of good guys to have too, because they're focused and they're listening to the coaches and trying to get help that way too. So, yeah, you got all kinds of guys, and we have talented guys. We have more talent than we had last year. I will say that. We don't have any better coaching, but we have more talent, so that should help us.
Well, when you already have the best coaching, it doesn't get better because you're already at the top.
Well, nice.
Wade Phillips joining us.
On.
Yeah, here on the Blitz. Well, you're still 0-0. I mean, go out and win, right? No.
There you go.
Well, because see, there's nothing armchair yet. What's this week like for you? I know you've got to get the game plan ready, but there's so much involved in the TV side of things, and this game on Saturday, 3 o'clock on Fox. Do you have additional production meetings just because it's week one? What do we expect as a TV audience to be different this year in the UFL?
Yeah, I had an extensive meeting with them yesterday, so they're very thorough. And, Kurt Menefee is going to be one of the announcers who is, one of my favorites and one of the best, I think, what he does. So they're getting ready, and we are too.
Are you ready for that in-game interview, Coach? I mean, have you practiced that?
I think I need a little more work on that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're so nice, but, sometimes the looks can be like, did you really just ask me that in the middle of the game?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that. It was, did you really second-guess me? And with 2 minutes left in the game, said, why wouldn't you go for it on fourth down? I said, well, we had 3 timeouts. If we stop them, and we did stop them and get another chance. We didn't end up winning the game, but yeah, I didn't like that part of it.
Good stuff. Wade Phillips joining us here on The Blitz. Wednesdays with Wade every Wednesday during the UFL season. It's a road game, but you don't have to travel. Is that good for you guys just to be able to get this first game, or would you rather be able to like get on a plane, go somewhere, and get that part of the routine down?
Well, I'd rather go to the Alamo Dome and play, obviously, but our first 4 games are on the road, so we talked about being road warriors, and you know, it's still tough to go on the road, even though this is right here. But they practice at that stadium all the time, and then there will be some San Antonio fans there, though. So I know that. So, but you know, they have the home crowd. So, but we can overcome that by playing well.
Coach, how do you handle the next 2 days with your team? What will you put them through Thursday, Friday?
Well, Thursday really is the finish up work week as far as more full speed stuff. Friday would be a walkthrough. I want them rested. I want their legs rested, but when they play the game, I don't want them to be tired. I mean, I think that's one of the worst things coaches do is they overtrain them, and then they don't have all their energy on game day. So we point towards game day.
How offensively do you script the first 15, 20 plays and work through that, or is that part of your style?
Yeah, that's part of what AJ does or we do. But those things are adjustable. I mean, everybody says they do 15 plays, but you know, if you go 3 and out on one of them, or you have a 10-play drive, sometimes it changes. The next few plays. So it's still got to be adjustable no matter what plays you think you have set.
And I'm curious, Coach, and forgive me if this is a dumb question, but is the defense kind of the same? Is that set, or you just have to adjust every play to what the offense is doing?
Well, it's similar in that you think you have, it's more against personnel groups, whatever personnel group they have in defensively. They can only run certain plays from, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight end sets, whatever. And so you have your game plan set up as to what personnel they have in the game and what they can do out of that, whether it's more runs or more passes or, different plays that they can run. And so you have to set up defenses for that. And then you adjust as the game goes along, yeah. If they're running 2 tight end offense and they're having success, you need to change something. Now, if they're not, well, then you kind of stick with your overall game plan to start with. But it's always adjustable in games. And then halftime is a big key because you have time, at least some time, to make the adjustments you want going into the second half.
When you think about the way the UFL is, there's a game on Friday. You guys are playing. Do you watch the other games that are going on, or because you're getting your team ready, that's not feasible?
No, I do. I mean, if we're not having a meeting or something like that the day before at that time, but I like football, so.
Well, the Friday game,
I kind of get an idea what other people are doing.
Yeah, the Friday game, St. Louis and Houston. You got St. Louis in week 2. I think I know how you feel about both of those teams. I mean, do you watch them hoping they both lose?
Yeah, I hope they tie.
Well, Coach, I got to ask you off the topic of football, the Houston Cougars. You going to keep an eye on what they're doing this weekend?
Yeah, Friday, big game Friday. So yeah, I keep up with them there. We had some great teams when I was there. So and Kevin Sampson does a great job. But they've been in the number 1 seed the last 4 years, and so hopefully this is the year they go all the way.
And win it in your building, which you'll be in several weeks. You get to play now. Coach, we're leaving here in a couple hours. We're going to Vegas. We're going to do our show tomorrow and Friday at Circa Las Vegas because it's opening day of baseball and Sweet 16. And so I'm looking at lines for this weekend. Brahmas favored by 3 with an over-under of 37.5.
Man, you guys got a tough life, don't you?
Work.
Somebody has to, right?
That's
Somebody
right.
has to do it. Yeah, I don't pay much attention to the line or whatever. It's just go out and play our best, and that should take care of the score.
Well, you didn't help us at all, Coach, there, because we were thinking about, I don't know, some inside info there, but that's okay. I'm glad. I'm glad the Brahmas are favored. That's good. They should be.
Last year you had no respect coming into the season. This year, that's changed. You proved them all wrong a year ago.
Yeah, we were picked last. Well, the last 2 years I was in Houston too with the Roughnecks. Year before we picked last out of 8 teams. So we've been there before, but it doesn't matter. Obviously, it doesn't matter where you picked. It's how you play.
That's it. And we know you guys are going to go play well. Coach, I know it's been a busy day. We missed earlier, but you were like, I've got a commitment. We little late. Whatever the fine is, head coach, you assess that penalty to yourself, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday after you beat the Renegades on Saturday. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Coach, appreciate you.
All right, you too. Good job, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
Well, he's ready. Wade Phillips, just great guy.
Yeah.
I just love that guy. I mean, honestly, he's a good dude, and I love talking to him, and he puts up with our nonsense. So that's good.
And he agrees to do this, but also, I love the fact that the Brahmas have a coach that wants to be in San Antonio and wants to do stuff within the city.
Yeah.
And the UFL, as it continues to grow, and I know they've got a couple of weeks before they have a home game, and the Alamo Dome is busy. There's a Final Four next week, and they put together the schedule, and that's the way it worked out, which I know for local fans, man, but you deal with it. But I look at what I saw video-wise and what I heard about that fan event they had down at the Pearl on Saturday afternoon. Hundreds of people down there for that, which is awesome. And you look at the last 2 years, you could see it growing, because I think the first year there was some hesitant of, here we go again. After the Commanders, which was incredible, but a lot of people felt burnt. First year with the XFL, it was, Last year I thought was getting better, and from what I could tell this year, it's even better, which is awesome to see.
What I love about this town is it's the Brahmas are theirs.
Yep.
No matter what football team it is, you look at UTSA, whatever team comes here and wears the San Antonio uniform, this city adopts that team.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that happening. You heard Wade talk about there's going to be San Antonio fans in Arlington, which is not a long way to go see a game. It'd be a lot of fun. It's an afternoon game. You make a weekend out of it. And so I'm happy to see that. I'm really happy to see that. And the fans are going to get behind this team. The success that they had last year certainly helps. You want to get back. And if unfortunately they start the first 4 games on the road, but if they come back to the Alamo Dome, say 3-1, man, this town's going to go nuts, and the Alamo Dome will be rocking.
And unfortunately, that's a reality for those that are selling tickets over there for the Brahmas. And we've seen that with UTSA. They were undefeated at home, but on the road it was a struggle. And it's like, but I look at their home schedule and think, of the 4 home games that they got, they should pull in a great crowd, especially with Kellen Mond at quarterback. You look at the running backs, you look at some of the defenders that are coming back, and I look at Arlington, and Luis Perez is the real deal at quarterback.
Yes.
And a good kid, although he's not a kid anymore. He's still chasing the NFL. But at the same time, I think about Luis and what he has done in spring leagues and just how talented he is. For San Antonio to be favored this weekend over Arlington, I'm a little surprised to see that, to be honest, but I think that's a respect of Wade Phillips and what you're getting in your quarterback in Kellen Mond.
That's got to be it, Jason, because I don't know how you handicap a game like this, because you really don't know a lot about either side. I mean, you can look at the rosters and say, well, these guys are talented and this guy's that and he's that, but still, you just don't know a lot about them. Respect to Vegas for coming out with lines on games that, I mean, you talk to Wade Phillips and they're seeing a team. I mean, they've seen them, obviously, practice video, but do you really know what you're going to get into until you start the football game? I don't think so.
I think you're just coming up with lines, looking at rosters and coaching and a little bit of history. I mean, St. Louis is a 6-point favorite over Houston on Friday night. Memphis, they're having coaching issues. They're 4.5 dogs to Michigan. Birmingham, 7-point favorite over the D.C. Defenders, who also just lost their coach. Barlow going to coach at a college, Tennessee State, I think. So,
oh, wow.
There's some things there that you look at and you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of going.
We got to go.
To the airport.
Yep.
Tomorrow, the Blitz live at Circa Las Vegas. Opening day of baseball, Sweet 16. It's going to be a fun time. Lakers, Pacers next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.